Just a bloke in a bar.
I was here before everyone again, just so everyone knows I'm fucking early these days.
You were first.
Tom's either like
did
an
you
hour
sign
and a
in?
half early, or he's half an hour late.
Well.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the others. But we let we let him go because he has 2 children.
That depend on me.
One of which is like 3 weeks old. So
A month on Monday.
There you go.
That's gone.
Have you ever considered doing a whole podcast with just a baby in the fucking thing in front of you? Just sitting there.
You know what? It wouldn't be easy, but it would be funny for like 5 minutes, and then the baby would start fucking crying, and it'd be a nightmare.
Talk about the modern man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You have a baby hanging there, and then another baby just sitting there, and you're doing a podcast.
Evie,
have you ever rocked the fake?
the fake baby or the fake tit?
Yeah.
No, but I did eat the lactation cookies by accident. They didn't make me produce milk, but it was.
Can men become wet nurses?
I don't know if they can become wet nurses, but I have heard that male nipples can produce milk.
What?
Yeah. Do that
That's
research.
Legit? If you were to suck on the nipple for long enough and consistently enough,
That's how you'd bring it in.
would you become a wet nurse?
That's how you bring the milk in.
I think milk can be brought in. I don't know for sure.
But milk certainly, I mean, look, it's like going, do we need a wet nurse in, Tom, when we have women that just produce it? You know?
I mean, look, we've got to look at ways to being better as men. And maybe producing milk is the way we evolve as men.
Maybe there is like a hormone and a supplement of which you can take that would trigger
the milk.
Milk production.
That is exactly correct. That is what I'm reading right now.
It's correct?
That is correct.
So men could be wet nurses, and Tom's putting his hand up to be the fucking first cab off the rank.
First Australian wet nurse.
I'm not actually
Dude,
putting
there'd
my
be
hand
statues of you out the front of
There
like
would be.
women's hospitals
with
and
like
shit.
well, I mean, you know,
The most progressive man in history.
that's a title that I'm more than happy to wear proudly. But
So
I
you're
wouldn't
saying
like
you're
you
willing to try this
Humanity's
then?
first full-time wet nurse, Tom Birmingham.
That has a ring to it.
I don't know if you can I be a nurse? Nurse isn't gender specific, is it? That's just a broad term.
Look, I think we're
No, there's
it's
male
not.
nurses, bro.
yeah.
Forgive me. Good. I just want to make
Neanderthal.
sure.
What a Neanderthal.
No, I'm the most,
Oh my god!
Mate, I'm the most progressive
Get
man
with
of all
the
time.
times.
You got to make
Well,
sure
you're
your
clearly resting on your
I's
laurels.
are dotted and your T's are crossed when
Mate,
you're the most progressive man of all time.
You become a wet nurse for 30 seconds, and already you're forgetting the nuances of the nurse
Wants
game.
to be a wet doctor.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Not really.
Not how it works.
Nah, there's female doctors as well, bro.
Yeah, wow.
You can't be too careful in this
Talk
day and
about
age
breaking
of making
through.
sure that everything is fucking squared away.
Just so you know, we don't like his opinions don't represent myself or Eddie. We are progressive.
no,
we
their
understand
opinions
there
don't
can
represent
be
me.
female doctors.
I
There can
am
be female doctors. We
Mr.
understand
Progressive
that.
2021.
Holy shit! Far out. That is
And there can be
wild.
male nurses.
And there can be male
wet
nurses.
Which
led
we-
by you.
Yeah,
Led by
well,
you, which I think that to atone you should probably do now because you are about to get cancelled.
I thought I was already a male wet nurse.
I think you should be cancelled, to be honest.
Well, you're not yet.
You don't want to cancel me before I've had an opportunity to change the world, you know? Let me change the world first.
Don't cancel the humanity's first male wet nurse.
That's
No.
true.
Don't
That
do
is true.
And apologies if there already is male wet nurses
Well,
that
put it
I'm
this
not
way.
aware of.
If in 10 years, like you become who you are about to become, a wet nurse and the first ever, this is the moment they're going to go back to and cancel you.
Well, here's a question. Can females become male wet nurses? Now we're really getting progressive.
You could identify as a male and
can,
be
exactly.
a wet nurse, yeah.
Gender is fluid.
There you go.
I'll just circle back to the to the males producing milk. So males can also produce milk naturally, but it's not associated with childbirth.
What's it associated with?
It just says it's known as galactorrhea.
What sort of milk we talking? Drinkable milk?
Galactorrhea sounds like a spaceship.
It does, actually.
I don't know. It
Lactorrhea?
just says human. It's just
Enter the Galactorrhea.
But
The galactorrhea.
but could you become a wet nurse with a dick?
Google that.
I'll Google that.
Can you
Google that.
yeah,
come
Google
back to
that.
us.
Google that. Your Googling skills need improvement. That should have happened fucking straight away.
That is true. Yeah, I'm surprised
Fucking
that wasn't the first
Jesus.
thing you Googled.
Any bloke worth his salt has Googled, can a
Can
bloke
be
with a
a
cock
wet-
become a wet nurse?
Yeah.
Any bloke.
Yeah. It's actually the first thing that comes up in
And it
Google.
trends on Google every year.
Can you be, and then it just fills in the rest, a wet nurse with a dick.
Oh, that's a great
Yes
start.
or no answers only, man.
Yes or no answers. Now, let's get the show. Let's get started the show.
Just a bloke in a bar.
Welcome to Bloke in a Bar. We have a huge announcement. Tom is a wet nurse with a cock.
The first of my kind.
Congratulations, Tom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also, brought to you by, I was going to say Bloke Shorts, but Bloke Shorts have already sold out. So I just want to say thank you so much to the people that purchased it. Apologies, the numbers, we ordered 3 times the amount of jumpers we ordered. We thought that was going to be enough. Clearly not. Now, these things, the turnaround is like 3 to 4 months because we order from overseas. So apologies. Hopefully next time when we do order the shorts, we'll order the correct enough where, we obviously want them to sell out, but not as quickly as they sold out. I think it was like 6-7 minutes, they're all gone. So apologies if people missed out. Thank you so much to the people that grab shorts. Really, really appreciate it. Also, make sure tonight, if you're watching this on a Wednesday, the boxing, Tim Tszyu versus Tekashi 6'9" tonight.
Tekashi 6'9".
Yeah, tonight Tekashi 6'9" is fighting Tim Tszyu.
That's crazy, dude.
Look, he can throw him, Tekashi. He can throw him.
He learned that in prison.
On the undercard,
Going?
sorry?
You go?
Yes, potentially.
He's
Potentially. Are you going?
Going.
Shit, how good. I'll see you there. You going with the fur coat or not?
Well, no, I'm not
No,
going.
because Tom's not going.
That's
so
a
I couldn't.
package
I
deal.
couldn't.
You're not going to go by yourself. Well, is he wet nursing? Is he busy?
I'm busy wet
He
nursing.
busy. Yeah. You got a child on the tip.
Well, I might see you there. We're still got to find out with the missus if we are going. But make sure to purchase it on KO Sport or Main Event. You can stream it online now, which is a heaven send. Because the amount of times I used to miss out on main events because I didn't have Foxtel and I only had the internet. I mean, it was literally infinite times. And we discussed infinite. Infinite to the power of 4. That's how many times.
Yeah, it's fucking long.
So make sure to purchase that. This is good Aussie boxing. It is Tekashi Inoue versus Tim Tszyu. Tekashi Inoue is a fucking fierce fighter. 50% knockout rate. He's built like an ox. So the first 4 rounds, in my opinion, will probably be a slugfest. You aren't going to want to miss it. I'm tipping Tim to win by finishing Tekashi, maybe round 8. But what do you guys think of the fight tonight, Tekashi versus Tim?
I will bare my soul and be honest with the punter and the dribbler at home. Hadn't heard of Tekashi Inoue until you said his last name. I'd heard his name was Tekashi. That was it.
Yep.
I know he's big and thick.
He
or
is
at least
thick.
he looks big and thick.
He does look thick.
Now, Tim Tszyu, I know. I know Tim because of Tim's feats in the ring. I know Tim because of Tim's dad, Kostya. I know Tim's an Australian, and I get behind Australians when Australians are doing good things.
That's right.
So my prediction is an Australian will win tonight.
Is it true if he wins tonight, Kostya's lined up a mega fight in Russia for him?
I'm not sure. The word I had was he's going to America pretty much. And
He
was-
fucking has to,
Well, he
doesn't
was
he?
already planning to go to America, but all this bullshit that's happened.
He's got to go.
He's got to go. Any boxer worth his salt gets off the country of Australia and goes somewhere else.
Because we've had great fighters in the past that have stayed here for plumbers for big
Chock
pay-per-view.
Monday. Oh, Chock actually won a world title, didn't he?
Look, fighting plumbers is an Australian pastime.
Yeah, and it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
But if you want to go global, you got to go to America and you got to fight the big dicks.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, fighting big dicks puts your name on the map worldwide. Fighting plumbers will put you on the map in Australia.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's-
He couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
You'll get like an OAM if you're fucking fighting plumbers, a career of fighting plumbers. You'll get an Order of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Few radio gigs in the morning on maybe Triple
that's it.
J
You might get a
or
Big Brother celebrity sort of cameo.
Survivor.
You could become
Survivor
the
in that.
Bachelor.
Yeah, The
you know.
Bachelor.
You could become the Bachelor.
Yeah.
Like the world's your oyster domestically.
Yeah, fighting plumbers.
domestically.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a big dick swinger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you want to take that American market by the bloody scruff of the neck,
Make
Yeah.
a bit of money and maybe own your own plumbing business.
Yeah.
you know?
Where you can bash your employees if you want.
If you wanted to. Hire a plumber, bash him at your
world's
house.
your oyster. If you flog those American cops
Absolutely.
first, you got to beat them.
Swing dicks, not plungers.
There
That
you
should
go.
be Tim Tszyu's
Get it on his
tonight.
back.
On his back. I'm swinging dicks, not plungers.
Not plungers. Obviously.
Because
That's
yeah,
got a ring to it.
Yeah. Get that on a t-shirt.
at the end on the mic, he goes, I'm swinging dicks, not plungers. Yes.
Oh, the people that love it.
Oh, my
He'd be the
God.
hottest PPV ticket in town.
Oh,
Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. And imagine, you know what's ironic about that? Imagine the amount of plumbing companies that would get after the big dog if he said, swing dicks, not plungers. Because we'll swing the plungers.
We'll swing the plungers.
Timmy,
swing
you
the
got to
dicks.
swing the dick. We got the plungers sorted.
I could see him even turning that into like a rap song, especially if you're trying to sort of break into the US market.
Well,
It's
Mundine rapped.
Mundine did it with Joel, the
Yep.
beatbox guy.
the
Joel
beatbox
Edgerton.
guy.
Yeah, not Joel Edgerton. That's
Joel
He's
Joel
an
Edgerton
actor.
is who I want to look like. Turner?
Joel Turner. Thank
Mate,
you.
He was a god amongst men.
Was he Australian Idol number 1, season 1?
He was of Australian Idol fame. I know that.
I don't think he won it.
No, fuck no, he didn't. We weren't
No.
ready for a national.
No, the
beatbox.
world wasn't ready for that.
But
No, it was-
he did beatbox at the final, which was at the Opera House. He beatboxed out the front, and then he had the hit classic, These Kids.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Down
was
there,
a
troubles,
classic.
Yeah. We actually, I think,
These
listened
Kids
to
is a
these
fucking-
kids on the podcast in its entirety once.
I tell you what's fun, like me and Ella listened to it the other night, I think, and Grace was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because she's 10 years younger than us, and I was like, "Did you miss the Joel Turner days?"
Even just the beatbox
Like
days.
I think, yeah.
Beatboxing
was everything, and every kid in the fucking backyard
Yep.
in the schoolyard was trying to replicate the great Joel Turner. We all failed.
Is beatboxing dead?
I think it's gone underground,
Yeah.
where it was, and then it
Belongs?
became mainstream. It sort of bobbed its head up, and everyone was like, "That's sick," and then one day it wasn't sick anymore.
When was the day when it went from that is the coolest shit ever to cringe?
I think
I mean,
probably
not long after Joel.
6 months after these kids.
Joel Turner
Put it this
probably-
way: the second song he released, I'm assuming he had beatboxing in it.
And
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
was the moment where people were like, "I've had enough."
Yeah.
No disrespect to Joel, but
Or beatboxing in general, but it's
that's
like
my vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I want to put it to you. Was life not better when beatboxing was cool?
You could certainly argue it was
You
based
could.
on the last 2 years.
Unfortunately for beatboxing, it like sort of goes the way of milk. After 3 days, it goes off. You know what I mean?
You've impressed me with it.
Yeah. Like
Now you're like just a person
a fresh
making
glass
fucking-
of full cream. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Like,
Cold?
That's good stuff. Cold, maybe a Tim Tam paired with a nice
You
Tim
know what
Tam.
it's like? You know what it's like? It's like when you get in a relationship and your missus or your boyfriend has a hectic repertoire of stories. And the first year, those stories are fucking knee slappers. But 3 or 4 years in, you're saying the same stories
Heard it a million
with
times.
the same punchlines, and they're not hitting like they used to. That's what beatboxing is.
It's funny you say 3 years because Joel Turner's first album, which was These Kids, had on it reached 28 on the ARIA charts, but his next album called Out of the Box 3 years later didn't even rank on the
I
charts.
like the name though, Out of the Box.
Out of the box.
He's not beatboxing no more. He's
Sounds like he probably was though. Didn't even rate a mention.
Well, either
of
he
it.
was beatboxing on it and it didn't rate, or he stopped beatboxing and people go,
Wait a minute.
You're the beatbox
"Hang
guy.
on, Joel."
I signed up for some boxing.
And speaking
Anyway.
of boxing,
Speaking of boxing,
swing dicks, not plungers.
not plungers.
Boy, if
Plungers.
Tim Zoo walks out tonight with Joel Turner beatboxing,
mate.
I will lose it.
Well, I mean, at the very least, we get him into a studio after this fight to beatbox over Tim's first song, "Swing Dicks Not Plungers."
Swing dicks, not plungers.
That's going to number 1. I promise you that.
If a plumber
has to.
doesn't have a shirt that says swing dicks, not plungers, I don't think they're not
not a
cluing
plumber.
on to the marketing game, clearly.
Not big marketers.
To to bring it full circle, though, could you imagine if he came out with Chalk, with Turner beatboxing?
That'd be like the Avengers, where they're
That
all
is
in
the
the one
Avengers.
movie together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there are spin-offs, and then we're bringing everyone back. Chalk, Timmy, Joel. I mean, that's a fucking.
It's
that's
an
a jam.
Yeah.
Do you reckon,
That's
like,
an all-star cast.
do you reckon beatboxing plays in the dating scene at all? Like
As
the
in,
first time?
As in, like, oh, what do you do?
Hidden
I
talent.
beatbox?
No, like hidden talent. Like, you know, all of a sudden, it's like, you know, when Leonardo DiCaprio starts dancing in Wolf of Wall Street, you're like, oh shit, he's got moves. Kind of like that kind of vibe where it's like, oh shit, he can beatbox and shit.
I'll ask you a different question. It's late at night, about 11:30 p.m., sitting around a fire. Some dickhead whips out a guitar, tries to serenade.
Yep. Classic move.
Hope you had the time of your life, sort of Green Day.
Oh.
Yeah, Green Day, yeah, all that shit. We know it.
Biggest hysteric ever.
Does he do better, or does the guy who goes shut the fuck up for a second and beatboxes? Who pulls the chick?
I think the guitar pulls the chick, but the beatboxer pulls the guys because
Yeah.
the guys ironically understand
That's-
how fucking cool it was.
that's
So you don't
right.
reckon he's pulling? You're not pulling the hottie? You reckon guitar still wins?
I don't think beatboxing is the sound of romance and love.
So you
know what I
can't
mean?
serenade with a good beatbox?
I'm
You know,
sure
if
it's
your
been
girl
done.
only knew, like by Raza or whatever.
See, now that was fucking. That's
That was
where I
wild.
got into beatboxing.
Yeah.
When Razel
That's
could
a-
do the
that's
beat.
a peak of
that was the
beatboxing,
peak.
yeah.
The beat and the chorus
Yeah,
at the same time.
time.
And you're like, holy shit!
Real YouTube shit.
that's classic
you go
YouTube.
like-
Or
YouTube
LimeWire
binges.
and shit. Like
LimeWire.
I
You go on
remember.
the binges on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, the
that's the
rabbit
sort of
hole.
stuff you'd watch.
And then, you know,
No matter how much beatboxing falls in and out of favour, that will always be a classic fucking video.
100%. Because that was me, my fucking 12, 13, 14-year-old mind just going like, holy shit.
We watched that recently.
Yeah,
you and
we
I.
did the whole.
When did we watch that?
Well, I think we had a Joel Turner chat.
Oh, you went down the beatbox rabbit hole?
We've certainly been down the beatbox.
I would say in the last
year.
Definitely in the last 12 months. Definitely. I don't know where we were or what we were doing, but we got into Joel, then we got into Rizal.
I'd say it was definitely last year because it wasn't in here in this fine office.
No, I don't think we were. Oh, were we on air? I thought we might have been doing that in our own time.
Fuck, maybe we were. We do some fucking odd shit. It wouldn't surprise me.
The beatbox rabbit hole that's a deep, deep rabbit hole.
It's a deep hole.
Can get very sad, but also can get impressive.
Joel's our only beatboxer though, right? I don't know of anyone.
Oh, he's a goat in Australia.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He's got to be the Australian goat beatboxer.
Is he still boxing with beats?
That's a good question.
Can you Google that, Matty? Where is he now? Is he swinging dicks or plungers? He's probably a plumber.
He might be.
You know what?
Which is nothing wrong with that.
No, fuck no, there isn't.
Just don't get bashed by a professional fighter that trains full time whilst you are literally digging through shit each day.
Yeah, whilst beatboxing.
And you get paid $1,000 for the fight.
This says that Joel is crowdfunding to do a new album.
Of course he
That
is.
was in 2019.
Link in the show notes.
How much did he raise? How much did he raise?
I'll find out.
He's crowdfunding to what, sorry?
To release a new album.
But that was 2
Oh,
years ago.
get behind him, boys.
That was 2
behind
years
Joel
ago.
Turner's
If
new
you're
album.
still short,
What?
put the link up.
Yeah, depending on how short.
Because he might have made it. He might have got there.
What was his goal?
That's what. It's
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
what
of unanswered questions. Step
Matt,
up.
This
mate.
is fake news. This
Actually,
is fake.
in 2007, which was his last album, he suffered a broken jaw, which
Which is bad for beatboxing.
Dude, that's
he got,
like-
he fought a fucking, he was plumbing.
He was
Fought a
plumbing.
boxer and broke his jaw and he ruined his beatbox career.
That's like Warney
Now he's
breaking
trying to
his
crowd
hand.
faint to get back.
He's trying to make a comeback.
That's a mini series.
That is a fucking Joel
Yeah.
Turner mini-series.
That is.
That's must watch television.
That is. Stand, binge.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought
Netflix.
this, but you know what I'd love to hear him beatbox is the Game of Thrones intro song.
That's so random.
That is. But you know what? That's pushing a man as far as the beatboxing can go. I'd assume.
So you're already doing it.
Yeah, you're
it's
actually.
natural. It's natural. See,
That was shit, but you know what I mean.
but we can all feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can all
felt
feel
it.
it. We all felt it.
We all felt that.
It's all vibe. That's a vibe.
That should be his album. Just beatboxing intros to
Oh,
shows.
you know what? I'd fucking buy it.
I'd buy that. Boom, 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 boom.
I'd buy it. Joel, do it, son.
Holy
Do it.
shit, Joel! That's a stocking filler.
Yeah, that is.
Absolutely.
CDs were still a thing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So good luck to Tim Zoo tonight.
Yep.
He'll be swinging dicks, not plungers, that's for sure.
We can only hope.
Now, the stores to grab a case of Bloke in a Bar, Celebrations Kenhurst, Richie's IGA, Ellymore Vale, Southside Sellers Kempsey, BYO Sellers Tamworth, Celebrations St Kilda, Corowa Super IGA, Louis Liquor Barn, Edmonton, Star Liquor Bundock, Dicey's Liquor Warehouse Gladstone, Redlands RSL Club, Westbrook Tavern, Celebration Superstore in Goodna has the last available Bloke in a Cardigan stocks in Ipswich. Bloke in a Cardigan limited edition cans, never going to be done again. So if you want them, go and grab them or go to our website. Go to our website and check out our store locator. And just want to say another quick, massive thank you to everyone that bought shorts. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are honestly amazing. Now, on to the most important news that has broken over the last week. So I'm scrolling through my phone. Tom and Eddie, Eddie and Tom. Oh, also Tom and Eddie and Tom are here. If you weren't aware that they're here, they're here.
Yeah, no, we are.
And they are from Hello Sport. Make sure to subscribe to their podcast. They had a milestone. They have eclipsed Bloke in a Bar on the charts, the Apple charts, for the first time. They have eclipsed Bloke in a Bar.
Sorry about
They're coming. Their episode come fourth. Bloke in a Bar's episode came fifth. So massive congratulations. They're taking over.
that. Come on.
That deserves a come on. That deserves a come on. But massive congratulations. But that's
so much.
you know what that's all due to? To you legends going and subscribing and listening to the great Tom and Eddie. So make sure to
Thank you
subscribe.
so much.
Love yous
Follow
all.
us on
Love yous all.
follow them on Instagram and Facebook, Punters and Dribblers. Now, I was scrolling through my phone and I saw a meme, and the meme was, we'll bring it up, a picture just here. The meme was, he's probably thinking about other girls, and then it's that meme where he's lying in bed, and then it had a picture of what's the name of that dinosaur with the long neck?
Brontosaurus.
A brontosaurus. And the picture was him asking the question of
I was gonna say
a brontosaurus's long neck, would the tie be at the top near the head or at the bottom near the, I guess,
Base.
the body, the base? And what we did is we put up a vote. The vote, there was over, I think it was about 4,000 votes, and it came back that 92% agree that you ride or you do a tie at the bottom of the shaft, not the top. Tom, what are your thoughts? You've been correct this whole time.
Listen, I mean,
Oh, okay, we got some controversy.
Well, of course.
Controversy. So again, we're talking about the riding of a shaft. We had a heated debate saying, Eddie and myself, we thought you rode, if you were going to ride a penis, you would ride it at the head.
and we're talking
not the shaft.
legitimately riding it,
Like
not
a
as in
horse.
like sexually,
Yeah.
literally riding it like
Yes.
some sort of mythical creature or a horse. Or
We both felt that you would ride it at the head to keep control. Tom felt that you would actually ride it at the base. And this confirms that most people, I'd assume, would ride at the base. Thoughts?
Yeah. Look, firstly, I just wanted to thank all of my supporters. We all knew what the fucking real deal was here, and we'd been talking about it privately for a long time. I've seen your DMs. I've seen all the messages of support. My family really appreciate it.
The drawings.
The drawings. 92% couldn't be more fucking overwhelming. Couldn't be more certain.
It's a hell of a number.
It's a hell of a fucking number. And to the 8% who don't get it, I mean, I think maybe they might be blind, because clearly if you're going to ride a shaft, you ride it at the base, because I think that's going to give you optimal control. You can't control what's behind you. And if you're riding it at the head, you don't know what's going on behind you. You're riding at the base, you got some reins in or something, you're going for it. Also with the tie exemplifies it perfectly. It looks fucking ridiculous at the top. Down the bottom, that's the way you go. That Brontosaurus is ready for business. It's ready to be ridden.
Thoughts, Eddie?
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I mean, looking at that Brontosaurus, first and foremost, the tie used historically to cover the buttons. Now, the Brontosaurus, you got to imagine wearing a shirt. Is it going to wear one around its body, or is it going to wear one up its neck as well?
I'd say it's
Unlikely to wear one all the way up, I would have thought.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Which is around the body. The difference between the Brontosaurus and a penis, I'll say this,
There are some.
is that you're implying that the shaft is the neck and the head, well, the helmet is the head and the balls are like the body. From my perspective, the shaft can often be far bigger, far girthier, far more substantive than the balls at the bottom. Like, to compare the Brontosaurus's body with a set of nuts, I think is
Well, I
inaccurate.
don't think that we're necessarily comparing the body of the Brontosaurus with the testicles of a man or a woman. We are just saying that if you are going to have where are you going to ride this thing? Top or the bottom? And if you're going to ride it,
Could you ride it halfway up?
I mean, you could ride it halfway up, but then you fall into the like. And I mean, this is I'm not a big car guy, but I always found the like Porsche Boxster to be one of the most ugly cars in the world, because it just has the cabin, no offense to anyone who owns one, I don't, but the cabin right in the middle. I don't think that makes sense to be right in the middle of it. It's just there's too much shit on either side. I think you go to the base,
Where it's tried and tested.
where it's tried and tested, but where you can see the entire beast you're dealing with. You know exactly what you're in for, and then you can steer from the back.
The concern is, though, that the beast controls you and you don't control the beast because of the distance between you and the head.
Listen, you can't blame the beast if the rider's not up to it. You got to be prepared to fucking grip it and rip it if you're riding a shaft. Consequence, right? Like, you got to. That's not for me to fucking tell you. You got to know how to do it. But you can't argue with numbers. And is it my first real win on here? Because obviously I get ganged up on all the time. Yes, it is. But the numbers don't lie. People lie. You guys lie. Numbers don't lie.
Look, you could have taken the victory more graciously, like turning it into a victim. I don't like that, because I gave it to you. I gave that victory. I didn't need to give that
I'm
victory.
just saying it's a
He
good
doesn't
win.
he doesn't get many wins.
Yeah, it's true.
You got to celebrate your wins.
But I brought you that victory.
I appreciated it.
You know, and then
You
turned
didn't
it
need to
into
do
like,
that.
I've got to say sorry for like
I don't
ganging
want an
up on you.
apology.
You didn't
No,
need
no,
to
no.
do
I didn't need to do that.
I don't need an
I didn't need
apology.
to bring you the victory. I brought it to you, and then all of a sudden it's turned into, oh, fucking poor me, I get ganged up on.
No. I'm just saying it's nice to have. You got to celebrate your wins, because losses are. You probably get more losses than you do wins in life. So when you get wins, you
not
got
all
to
of us.
celebrate. Not all of us.
Not all
Me
of us.
personally. So I'm celebrating it. I'm the greatest. I know how to ride a shaft better than you do. And I'm the first male wet nurse. So fuck all of you.
Now, I wanted to talk I wanted to delve deep into the hero or villain yarn or narrative, because a guy like David Warner, he wins Player of the Tournament, much maligned before it, and he is a divisive figure. But I was thinking in the shower this morning, I think heroes and villains all have big dicks because, like, there's no in between with them. You know what I mean? You either hate a man with a big dick or you love a man with a big dick.
Yeah.
And Warner has come out swinging this week. What are your thoughts on the hero or villain with a guy like David Warner?
Well, they call him the Dark Angel.
And by
foremost.
they, we.
And by we speak for the people.
Yeah.
So, ipso facto,
They.
that's
Yeah.
the common consensus. David Warner, as you said, much maligned. He's been maligned a lot of his career. Apparently a bit abrasive, he's a bit fucking brash, a bit devil may care. He can swing a fucking cricket bat. Let's start there. He came to the series in a slump of bad form and has given everyone the finger and said, fuck you. That's David Warner stuff right there. He thrives on that shit. At the end of the day, as a nation, I think we used to fucking... He was revered a little bit.
Look, there's like pre-Sandpaper Dave, post-Sandpaper
Exactly, that's
Dave.
where I'm getting to. His handling of the Sandpaper saga, like it or lump it, didn't sit well with the general public. I think the people wanted to see a little bit more like,
I did it.
just fucking own up to it. You know what I mean? Like Smudge, who wasn't even really involved. Tears, I'm sorry, I fucked up. People love that shit. We didn't get a whole lot of that out of Warner, and I think it left people with a bad taste in their mouth to a degree because we all know that he was the instigator. Because he was copping all this shit for allegedly for his relationship with Candy Warner and people giving him shit, and he was in a bad place. By the by, I don't think people have really got over that.
It raises an important point that Eddie and I have discussed in the past, and whenever we do get around to filming Hello Sport University, which is obviously sort of an online course that people will be able to
Stay
take.
tuned.
We'll be able to, illuminate it in greater detail. But there is a bell curve of forgiveness. It's a mathematical certainty, basically.
It's called the forgiveness bell curve.
Forgiveness bell curve.
It's good, well named.
And basically, it relates to the atrocity committed and where it intersects with your form. And so how bad was what you did? How well are you playing?
It's
how
atrocity
quickly will forgive you?
Times form divided by like apology, basically.
Yeah, we do have the actual formula written down somewhere.
So like atrocity, so Steve Smith's, he was part of an atrocity, but he scored a fucking shitload of runs, and he also apologised, which equals forgiveness. Whereas David Warner, atrocity, not that many runs,
and the forgiveness was
and no forgiveness. It was staged forgiveness.
Staged apology.
It was who was the PR?
Roxy Jasenko.
It was Rocky. It was a Roxy apology.
Yeah.
I didn't see any tears either. Oh, fake tears.
No,
they were faux
crocodile tears.
Crocodile
tears. Like squeezed him in before he walked in, and he
It
went.
seemed like that.
He walked in like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Then all you can do is go a vibe. That's all you got in this world, vibe. Like if I'm watching a press conference, I'm not going to go in there and inspect him. I can't go into his head. I can go
Or
a vibe.
lick the tears. You need to say, are they salty?
Are they salty or not?
okay.
I can only go a vibe and vibe alone, and my vibe is telling me that were crocodile tears.
So do you feel that going forward as a nation, and I think this could be one of the first. I think it would be the first, and also think that it would bring us ahead of the pack when it comes to apologies as nations. But to have a tear licker there at the apology know whether the tears are true.
I think there's a lot in that.
I think that's almost very important.
Well, they've got someone signing at a press conference. I think they also need a tear licker.
Someone that you'd have to have probably a longer tongue than usual if we're just thinking about like the characteristics of a tear licker.
Well,
you don't want to have to be, if you've got a stumpy tongue or one of those like tongues where it's fucking connected all the way out and you can barely stick it out, you basically got to lick his whole face if you want to get a taste of the tears. You want to just be able to get in there like a Gene Simmons.
You'd need a tongue of consequence, an accurate tongue.
Accuracy, length, and I guess like a control. You might have to catch them. You might have to catch the tears.
There's blokes out there like that.
Yeah.
Plenty
Or
of control
girls.
with the tongue.
What about if we film it and the person has to like lean over and like the cry, obviously, and then the person underneath can be like.
You could do that. I mean, I think the only thing that you'd want to do is you don't want to get in the way of the apology. You want the apology to, okay, so is he crying? Well, let's just allow him to apologise and then just out of nowhere, it's a little tongue just...
Yeah, I think at the
possible.
side of first tier, you go and get ready, and then in between sort of sentences or breath, bang, like a
Yeah.
lizard, in and out.
Okay.
Minimal
Keep it low.
impact.
You've got the sample on your way.
Now,
That's what I'd like to see.
I've got a question I think only you two can answer. Does it, if a tier, the more salty a tier is that more pure? And does that, like, because you know the equation, so if it's a really salty tier, does that gain more forgiveness quickly? Or, you know what I mean? Like, the more salty the tier, the more pure it is?
I think that the tier needs to be salty because then we know it's real. If it's salty, it's real. Your emotions, unless you are fucking, Jennifer Lawrence and an amazing actor. Just felt like saying Jennifer Lawrence. I always had a crush on her, whatever. Get over it.
I reckon
Then-
she'd go for you, I reckon.
Mate, I don't even want her. I'm married, 2 kids, don't even care.
But I just reckon she'd go for you, bro.
Jennifer
I reckon
Lawrence
you-
go for
I reckon you got a
Tom.
chance.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon you got a chance.
I think she's pregnant, engaged, so I mean, it's probably not the best time for her, but
don't
like,
have-
You are the first male witness, so that's a go.
That's not a bad
You
point.
could step in.
Yeah, I could.
That's how you'd get in.
That's-
Listen, I
you
heard
go,
you're
listen.
looking for a wet nurse.
Yeah.
Here I am.
I'll do the
Tom.
late night feeds.
Then you're in the house all the time. She obviously gets up, man.
Hot
She can't
babysitter.
sleep. Who's
Yeah.
sitting there? Tom, feeding. Oh, sit down. Talk to me about your
That's-
troubles. And then that's how it begins.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, all of a sudden, you've got a front row seat. You're sort of giving out life advice. She's loving what she's hearing.
Yeah.
And then,
Try some of the milk.
all of a sudden, you're not a wet nurse anymore. You're a lover who.
Well, you're a
also
witness of a
breastfeeds.
different kind.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
But David
always-
Warner, I will say this, back to David Warner, he sort of flows between like hero and villain a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
hero now.
Very simple. If he's scoring runs, the people love him.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if he doesn't, like in England 2 years ago in the Ashes, when he averaged 9,
Which was very close to post sandpaper.
people go, what, weren't you involved in that sandpaper thing? You know what I mean? It's like the people are
Yeah.
petty.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve Smith involved in the same thing, hitting fucking shitloads of runs, and everyone's like, this guy's the greatest player of all time.
Do you think from Warner's perspective, he was like, man, people cheat all the time in fucking cricket. Like, come on, man, I just got caught.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was thinking.
Yes, I'd say so.
Okay, so we've confirmed tier liquor needs to be at any press conference.
Yes.
Going forward.
Yep.
I think that could put us
Could
ahead
get
as a
Danny
nation.
Widley. He's always closest.
He's a close, and he
I
would,
don't think he's got tier liquor in him.
you don't reckon he knows an
No, I
authentic
don't-
apology?
I don't.
He's seen some fucking.
I think you need a pure soul to test tears.
that is
purity.
Yeah, he's not a pure
Okay,
soul.
that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Danny's not a pure soul.
I don't. He's not pure enough for mine.
I mean, he's great for the game, but he's
Great
not
for the
pure
game. He's
soul.
not pure of soul.
I'm talking about testing the purity of tears.
Yeah,
here,
true,
Kenneth.
true,
I'm not
yeah.
talking about reporting on fucking trashy NRL topics.
No.
Worlds apart.
But David Warner, a hero. He's fucking.
He's a hero right now.
Mate,
Yeah.
player of the tournament, the T20 World
On
Cup.
the 17th of November 2021, David Warner's a hero.
Matter of fact, in the comments section, let us know who is the most pure of soul that we could use as a tier licking specialist.
I like that. It's a great
like
question.
Gandhi or something.
Yeah, like someone. Yeah, like a Gandhi.
I don't
like
know if Gandhi's with us anymore, is he?
Well, he's
Gandhi
not,
left
but
us?
in
I
his
think Gandhi's
day,
left
I
the
think
world.
he could
Apologies,
be a
Gandhi.
tier licker for sure. He would know whether the apology is pure of intent. For
I think
sure.
if you look into Gandhi's past, he wasn't as fucking.
yeah,
He
but
wasn't
let's
as
not go
fucking-
looking. He did a lot of great shit. Let's go
I'm
look.
sure he did. I'm just saying, like, let's find someone.
I know you
Oh,
have
was Gandhi a bit
tendency-
lowbrow?
I think Gandhi might have had a bit about him.
Yeah, but I know you have a tendency to chop blokes down.
No, I'm saying I'm just trying to. I'm in the
And now,
hunt
are
for
you
purity,
like,
dude.
are you chopping Gandhi down?
Are you saying Gandhi was impure? Why is he so associated with purity?
Because I think he has. I think he had some good points. I think Gandhi. Made
had some-
great
Well, every
points.
man has a bad day.
He had some questionable vices, yes.
Yeah,
but
I think Gandhi made some
are
great
you
points, but
really
I'm just saying
chopping
Gandhi made- I'm saying that he's.
like Tom is chopping Gandhi
Listen,
right now.
I'm saying if you're putting forward me or Gandhi to test tiers, I'd say maybe go with Gandhi, but maybe not.
Now I'm questioning everything I know.
Yeah,
All I'm
I
Now I'm
saying
like,
though
holy
is if
shit.
we're trying to find
Is
pure,
Gandhi impure?
I'd say
Ask
he's,
Tom.
I'd say he's not pure enough to test tiers.
To be honest, I don't think anyone can be pure enough for Tom because he just loves chopping.
We are trying to find someone pure enough to test the purity of tears. So I'm saying let's do our due diligence. Let's just throw it at a Gandhi. who
Mate,
I'm
happy
pretty
with that.
sure is
I'm just
dead.
a little rattled that Gandhi, who may or may not be with us, might be impure.
Gandhi died in 1948.
Well, so he's dead.
My God. Did he?
Definitely not with us.
Okay.
Val-
I thought he was still doing tours and shit.
Yeah, gone too
Am I
soon.
getting
I
confused
honestly
with
thought he had a
someone?
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, am I thinking of the Dalai Lama?
Yeah,
Is he
you
still
are.
with us?
No, he's still with us.
Is he pure enough for you?
Dalai Lama's pure.
I don't mind that. I
was
Haven't heard
thinking of
anything
the
about
Dalai Lama.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll pay you that. I can see you
I
thinking
Can you
that.
see how I got confused?
I can see that. I can see that.
Because I was like, what, he's dead? Really?
No, Dalai
But
Lama's
if you
still doing the
put it
damn
this
thing.
way, not only do we tier liquor is great, but if you've got a mate that you think is too good of a bloke, introduce him to Tom, and then he can chop him down.
I'll chop
for
him
you.
down.
We've also got a chopper. He brings people back down to earth.
Yeah.
And that is Tom.
Yep.
He brought Gandhi back down to earth. Gandhi's a fucking nobody now.
Well, Gandhi, I'm just saying, Gandhi has a past. Allegedly.
It's a little bit, who the fuck's Gandhi now? You know what I mean?
Tom just chopped him out of existence.
Well, he's no Dalai Lama until we find out something about him. Who else are we cancelling?
Let's just cancel everyone.
Jesus, don't go after the Dalai.
No.
Not Dalai. Like,
I'm
honestly.
not going after anyone. I'm just being presented the facts.
Dude, if you start chopping Dalai, I'd be...
No.
Dalai. How do you
Dalai's a
pronounce
good
it?
friend. Dalai Lama, good friend.
Now, okay, so Dave Warner, he's hero this week.
Yep.
Yeah. No, hero until the first ball of the first test in
No, until-
Brisbane
hero
in
until-
December. And if he gets a ton that first test, then he's still a hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
If
he's...
he gets like a 50, he's a hero.
Yeah,
still.
if he gets a 50, he's still
But
good.
if he gets out fucking third ball,
Tough.
He will bring that back up. Like, it's like, you know what? We're just going to
Well,
go back to that old
it'll
fucking-
just be, it'll start going, right now it's like David Warner's fucking, killing it. Proved everyone wrong in the T20 because he was given the arse by his IPL team. Now he's gone and won the fucking whole tournament and he's player of the tournament in the T20s. If he gets out early in the first test, the headlines will be like, was that just a fucking wool pull in the T20s?
and then we'll go, okay, second innings. And then if he gets out early then...
It's starting to look like a wool pull.
I
Does
can
Dave Warner have what it takes to play Test
guarantee you
cricket
there will
anymore?
be 70 articles talking about David Warner's place in the side.
Where does he
between
sit
then
with
and
you
the next
guys,
test.
though? Where, like, in your mind, honest opinion, David Warner?
I like him when he's playing well. But there's like as in, he's not like a personality where you're like, oh, he's a fucking great character and he's really good. But it's also like,
I think he's fucking...
he's good for the game.
He's great for the game. His resume is pretty fucking good.
Oh, he's
when
an
you look at
all-time
it. Like,
great.
he's an all-time great.
Yep.
He's done some incredible things. He marches to the beat of his own drum, which I don't mind.
No.
You don't see a whole lot of that in cricket. There's usually they're a bit Magoo, a bit quiet.
Oh, he's Magoo though. It's just a good Magoo.
But a different sort of
Yeah.
like outspoken, brash Magoo.
But like, I mean, you know what else as well didn't help him is his TikToks, which obviously is just a business move, I think, capitalizing on the Indian market. But his Indian TikToks are fucking bizarre.
Yeah, but
And
I think
we were just all a little
part
bit
of that
like-
was a bit eyes up.
Like, ironically, he's not doing it.
No, he was doing them not ironically.
He wanted to get that Indian market.
But like, is he?
Which he got.
He's
Yeah.
aware. He's not aware. Of
Oh,
what's
no,
happening.
he's aware what
You know
he's
what I mean?
doing.
Like, he's not doing it like, I fucking love this shit. Like, is it more along the lines of like, yeah, I understand this may look a certain way, but I'm about getting some quiche.
No,
I think
I
yeah.
think I think there's the awareness of that, but I think he also loved doing it. You look at his face in those TikToks, you're like, he's enjoying the fuck out of this right now, which is cool.
He may be Jennifer Lawrence, though.
Huh?
He may be Jennifer Lawrence, though. Good actor.
Well, he could be Jennifer Lawrence. Shout out to Jennifer Lawrence.
Shout out, Jennifer.
But at the moment, David Warner, hero.
I
Hero.
like Dave. though.
Okay. Now, I asked Finchy this, but I'll ask you guys this as well. How much they win the T20, how much does this affect their preparation for the Ashes in such a short time? Now, I understand that very different games, but winning is winning.
It'll affect them to a certain point. Like Steve Smith will be fine. David Warner, I worry about because he hasn't played a whole lot of red ball cricket. He opens the batting, completely different fucking situation. Like he hasn't played a test or any red ball cricket since like February or even January.
Well, no one has, have they?
Well, England's played in like
No, but I'm talking about
March.
Australia.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's plenty of blokes that would be in the side that are playing Shield cricket.
It's not great. It's not ideal. I think it's
We
all
talk about
COVID.
all the, mate.
Yeah.
It's the 7th of November, which I mentioned earlier. The first test is on the 8th.
December?
Fucking
yeah. There's no time.
Zero
to fucking,
time.
Will they even get a fucking
I think-
Shield game in?
I think
they get one.
I think they won maybe one or two.
And they'll have an intra match as well.
right.
A 3-day intra match.
Are they doing that? Because they were supposed to play Afghanistan, but that got cancelled.
They're playing an intra match in Brisbane. I think it's December 1.
situation.
Yeah. Afghanistan's bit red.
It's
hot.
look, it's
Yes.
it's a long fucking way from ideal.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
it's
long
like
way.
cricket always,
But
like
it's
cricket
not
is
in a
kind of
way.
like that to a degree. You know, obviously you'd like a bit more of a lead in, especially with the Ashes, but they play so much cricket and just bounce between fucking formats that you'd also hope that they're a bit sort of used to it now.
Is there any world, and again, this is coming from a guy that knows nothing about cricket, is there any world where the Ashes can be played in a way that the T20 style suits it? So, for example, and again, I could be talking absolute nonsense. Let's say we need to chase runs, or there's a period where we need a lot of runs in a short period of time. Is that where T20 style can help us, or not really? It doesn't translate.
I think it's Look, and again, this is probably where like we're talking about as much shit as you are, but like not really. Like you can the T20, the situation in a T20 is like you just go out there and swing the fuck out of it. The pitches are very different. That doesn't mean to say that the skills of a T20 player who can just go after a bowler and score runs quickly isn't helpful in the Test arena. But
Which has been a hallmark of some of David Warner's like memorable innings, is where he'll just fucking pound the bowlers out of the attack.
like he was a T20 player before he was a Test player.
Okay.
Like he's got like a 69 ball 100.
Like,
it doesn't translate really.
No, it's not like great T20 players.
Because you've got 5 days, and if you're going to be chasing runs where you'd need to sort of go out and swing from the hip, it's going to be against an aging ball or like a deteriorated pitch. So it
it's a
doesn't
bad
really.
place to be in anyway.
You don't want to be in that
chasing
position.
them.
Yeah,
Yep.
you don't want to be in a position where you got to go fucking psycho.
Well, all right. We will stay on top of that. Also, we're going to do some Hello Sport Live beers and footy for the test. Are we?
Yeah,
Ashes?
fuck yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm invited. I think last time I wasn't invited. Was I not invited last time?
No, you were invited.
Okay,
you were
sorry.
invited.
Yeah,
You,
cool.
you know, you obviously just.
Tom and I have already lined up quite a few guests, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see how you fit in the schedule.
Okay,
obviously,
sweet.
but,
Well, do you just let me know, please?
Look, there might be room.
got the
We'll see.
inspired unemployed boys coming on.
Yeah, we do.
Now, Mitchell Pearce, flow-on effect. Danny Buderus has given a hint that Ponga may switch to the halves. He said there are options including buying a halfback or going another way and buying a fullback. The way we play, the more time Kalen Ponga touches the ball, the better the team is going to be. Thoughts? They've tried it before of bringing the great, the sexy, the movement of your hips. KP Wax, Kalen Ponga, 2-6.
Mate, I don't really know. Like, he seems so suited to fullback at the moment, and he plays so fucking well there that I would be hesitant to move him to 6 just because, maybe we'll get a fullback instead. Like, I think they're better off getting a half than moving Kalen.
Were we saying it on this?
It's not that easy to move. Like, people
No way.
forget, when Darren Lockyer moved, he was not great at 6.
He got peppered by the media.
But didn't we?
And Kalen hasn't played well at 6 when he has played.
But Kalen also hasn't played enough at fullback. You know, like in terms of
like just getting years under
just
his
getting
belt.
years under his belt, miles
Totally
under the
agree.
legs.
He's not that old. How old is he?
I think he's 23, 24. But the thing that with Kalen is like, I don't want him making tackles. Like, I don't. His body already has been banged up. Getting him in that 6 role, I just kind of feel like I don't want him getting his body banged up anymore. He's my Ferrari. I just want him in attack. So I understand. Like, why? What I don't get is like, why not? You know, play him. You can play him in attack at 6, but keep him at fullback in defence. Because like, look at like a Joey Manu who was playing like a fullback from wing. Look at Tom Trbojevic. It's in Origin. He was a centre playing like a fucking whatever he wanted. Surely there's a way they can integrate him before that.
Rover.
Yeah, Rover.
Zero.
That was a new position you came up with.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
So look, I don't know why they keep trying to push him to 6 when, as you said, again, Ponga, incredible. But I want to see him establish himself as one of the best fullbacks in the game that he can be.
The other thing for me is like he wins so many games for them at fullback.
100%. Crazy.
Like all the fucking time. And I'm
Literally all
just
the
sort of
time.
like, what? Where's the advantage?
Yeah.
You either need to be a great side to fucking win anything. You either need to go and buy a fucking good fullback. I couldn't name one. Or you have to go find a fucking good half.
Yep.
Like you're in a shit position either way, really.
It's the weakening of strength to strength and a weakness as well.
But what is like, you've got a gun fullback. That's what you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why go down a
You
position?
might have
100%.
You might have a good 6.
You
but
might
at the
have
end
a
of the
good
day,
6.
you either need a fullback, which you don't have, and I can't name one that you could get, or you need a 6.
Yep.
Which I couldn't really name one that you can get.
Well, you go. Aren't they looking
Play
after
Clifford at 6
Lukey
and then.
B?
Well, yeah. So
What, they'd move Clifford to 7 and then him at 6?
that's the plan. Would move Clifford to 7, but Clifford's also young. Even though I thought he was good when he got down there, but I agree with you. Like, what you do know for sure is Kalen Ponga on his day is a top 3-4 fullback.
Yes.
Could even be the best fullback eventually. If you move him to 6, he might be good at 6, and whoever you buy might be good at fullback. That's two unknowns. Instead of just being like, we know we've got one of the best fullback. We put it this way: if you keep him a fullback, you know for sure you have a premiership winning fullback. Like, he can win a premiership. He's good enough to do that, in my opinion. But yeah, I agree with
Do you
you
think
guys.
he'd prefer to play fullback, or is he?
I'm not sure. I think he's pretty cruisy, to be honest. I think he just loves playing footy. Like, he just loves being around the ball.
Put it this way. On his day, top 3 fullback. Top 3, top 4. On his day, is he going to be a top 3, top 4, 6?
Not initially, not straight away.
No,
it's
not
going to
straight
take a
away.
while. Now, I think the tough thing at the moment is a lot of the stories that we're reading are just media just like, fuck it.
It's off season, baby.
Yeah,
These
off-season.
journos, it's Mayo season.
You know, apparently, yeah, it is
Better
Mayo
believe
season.
it.
Mayo season.
This is where
Fuck
Buzz does his best work.
Yeah.
Mayo
Fucking
season.
North Sydney Bears, they're coming back.
Every single club that has had a sniff of playing NRL or been associated with NRL apparently is coming back
Yeah.
next. I think there was actually, you know what, there's like a sleeping giant today that we were...
Yeah, there was. It was
Yeah.
like there was a sleeping giant. It was like the Jets fucking
I love-
something. It was just like
I love the North Sydney Bears chat every
dude.
year.
Oh, it's
North
great.
Sydney
This
Bears.
is like the 5th or 6th article as well this off season.
Yeah, yeah. The
It's
the
really
North Sydney
quiet.
Bears have been going hard this off season.
I love it.
The $30 million sleeping giant, the Orcas. Wellington Orcas and Brisbane Jets.
I'm already in for the Orcas. Just
I actually like the Orcas.
I'm in for the Orcas.
And the colours too. Cool.
the
then
apex
you've got-
predator of the sea,
Yeah,
bro.
you've got Orcas v Dolphins, battle of the fish. They're not fish. That's the point. I'm into it.
Look at this. This is the start of the article. And you know what? We understand. You've got to just create something. There's got to be something going on.
Yeah.
Almost as soon as the Dolphins were confirmed as the NRL 17th team, the conversation immediately shifted to who became the 18th. The losing Brisbane bids were upbeat in defeat, while Perth and a second side New Zealand also remained confident that they could still become expansion teams. It's like, oh, so everyone's just confident and sweet, good to go.
Everyone's just like, sweet, we didn't get it. All good.
What are the chances of a second Brisbane team? I would say, well,
No way. They'd be
Third,
crazy.
yeah.
They
No way.
need to expand.
Yeah.
Because
it'll
like,
be Perth or
Yeah,
the
New
Orcas.
Zealand.
or New Zealand.
Yeah, I think Perth is the way to go. We got to try to get into that market.
Half
Just
of the
get
country.
someone over there.
Perth Orcas.
Even if they get belted every week, we just need a presence there.
I like the Orca name. I'm into it.
I do like the Orcas name though. Sick name, and the colours are like
colours.
a
The
Perth
teal.
Orcas
Kind of like.
doesn't. The Wellington,
that?
was it
That's-
Wellington Orcas?
I think it was a Wellington.
yeah,
Orcas.
that sounds better.
But the North Sydney
go black
Bears,
and white.
I feel sorry for them because like every year they just get there. We go.
Well, did you read what their latest idea was? The Bears.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with that Orca.
That's
colours.
that's actually sick.
sick
yeah.
colours.
I love
Can you
that.
make sure you put it up on the screen?
I love that.
Yeah. So like, fuck, it's mad. I
That's
reckon.
mad.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I like
I'm-
those colours a lot.
Yeah.
I'm all about the Orcas. dude.
Unique colours, and it's like kind of cheeky with the fucking fangs and shit.
Yeah, that Orca looks badass.
Did you hear what the Bears wanted to do?
What they wanted to do?
wanted to become like a half Sydney, half Central West club. So they play games in like Bathurst
Because they were like,
and
we'll just
Dubbo
call
and
ourselves
Cowra.
the Bears. We don't need a location either.
the
like
country
the
team.
Dolphins.
Yeah, but then they were like, oh, but we'll also play like 5 or 6 games at North Sydney. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. And then like eventually they'd just be playing like
All
one
the
game in
games.
Dubbo and fucking 9, 10,
So they tried to
12
go
games.
the country out and use us country lads as fucking.
They tried to use the country as leverage.
I
I'm
hate
like,
getting used
what?
like that.
You're not a country guy though. Let's
I
just,
can't believe they would use us, the plight that we go through,
We've
the
got
struggle
the videos,
that we
we've got
go
the
through.
receipts. You saying when you're
They
talking
would use
to Cam
our
Murray,
struggle
hot as
and
shit.
plight.
The
I
North
hate
Sydney
country.
Bears were not referring to the leverage of Queensland coasties.
No.
I just can't believe the loyalty that us country
Queensland
lads are known
coasties.
for. They're trying to exploit the country lad loyalty that we have, and it's
You're,
just
you're a
disappointing.
surfy dude. You're a Queensland coastie.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing. But I think Finchy brought up a good point a few weeks ago. It's like they can't go Brisbane because that's not. He's right. That's not really expansion. That's just like another team in Brizzy.
Yeah.
An expansion has to be Perth, Wellington Orcas. I love the Wellington Orcas.
They
I'm
look.
bullish.
Yeah.
That is that like sort of like old school 90s colours.
Yeah. And the logo looks like those. Does anyone remember those Street Sharks?
Yes.
Yeah, Street Sharks was sick.
Street Sharks was sick.
Oh,
Shout out to Street Sharks.
I think that.
I'm almost like Camp Walker
Yeah.
now, just on like colours and logo alone.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that might seem
Well, that's how we make all our decisions, really.
silly, but
Purely
I
on
don't-
vibe.
I don't think it's silly.
And then just underneath that, the article is "Never say never." Inside Bears push for an NRL return, where nothing is off the table.
Well, no, it sounds like it. Everything's on the table for the poor old Bears.
Fuck it.
I respect the Bears for never giving up,
They do never give
Never
up.
give
but
up.
it's also like you've got to know when to give up.
Yeah. No one to hold them, no one to fold them.
Yeah.
No one to
Do you
walk
reckon
away
they
from
know
it.
internally though? Like it's all a bit of a
Or are they like just, do they,
because they have so much history.
are they being
They've
used
got
and
a lot of
abused
good
every
things.
off-season and they don't know it? And the journalist's like, fuck it, we'll get a couple of
The
stories.
journalists
out
are
of the
like,
Bears.
"Fuck, we got no fucking news," and then someone goes, "You know what to do." You know what to do.
Call the Bears. Call
Call
Billy.
the Bears.
fucking
Bears news rates.
It does
They are
rates.
passionate fans, though.
Was it true that they hadn't won a comp since 1920? Like that
The
was
Bears
the
were
last time.
dog shit.
No, I know, but like they hadn't won a comp since 1920. I think in the whether it was the most recent Bears article or a fucking another one that I was reading, but it was like Billy Moore and shit talking about like the players at the time felt like failures because they fucking this club
Yeah,
with
I've
all this
seen that.
history died on their watch.
Yeah, they won in 1921 and 1922.
You know what I think could work though is if we kick Manly out of the club comp and then we bring in North Sydney
why
Bears.
the
That
fuck,
could
but
work.
why would you do that?
Well, North Sydney clearly has more fans already.
What are you talking about?
and
They've
every
got like
year-
one guy talking to fucking Buzz Rothfield every weekend and going like, "Oi, we'll come back," and like, "Yeah, I bet you will."
Mate, there's a handful of suburbs that support the North Sydney Bears, whereas Manly's got the entire Northern Beaches all the way up through the Central Coast, all the way up to Newcastle. That's Manly
Some
Seagulls.
fucking Manly-
That's Manly Seagulls territory,
Manly
bro.
are huge in Newcastle as well.
Really?
Maybe not massive, but
Now this
Looked into
there'd be a couple of fans.
Yeah, for sure.
now the Luke Brooks chat. Do you like? What I don't get is like, how come Luke Brooks hasn't just come out? Because like for example, Scott Drinkwater that got pushed up of like he may be going to the Knights, and then he has come out. Oh, sorry, Cowboys have come out and said he's not going anywhere. But like, I don't understand why like Luke just doesn't come out and just be like, "Oi, I'm staying at the Tigers." Like,
Didn't the Tigers say he was staying there?
but the Tigers, you know how they've been like they
This-
say one thing and then another
This
thing
is
happens.
one of just the most enduring shit shows in rugby league. Like,
Do you reckon
should
it's
he?
purely speculation from the journos though? Do you reckon they're just using Luke Brooks because it's easy, like it's off season?
When is
Potentially.
his contract up?
Like another 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
So they've just got a
But
whiff or something, and they're just
but
fucking.
they've got Jackson Hastings and they've got Adam Dewey and Luke Brooks. Not a huge fan of finals footy,
But he just won Player of the Year.
which was controversial to say the least.
but he did win it.
Yeah. So the club loves
the
him.
club loves him. Yeah, the club loves him.
He clearly.
Does he love the club? Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why hasn't? Like again, he's not. He doesn't have to do it.
No.
He doesn't have to do it.
Maybe he doesn't want to entertain it because he's like, it's all just complete bullshit.
But the journo, the media are just pumping it.
Yeah.
Pumping it.
Like,
And
why would-
I didn't speak about it for ages, and then eventually, like, if it's coming this much, like.
usually that's what they say, right? There's smoke, there's fire
Yeah,
to
this
a
much.
degree.
Yeah. When it's this much, when it keeps coming up, and then Mitchell Pearce gets moved on. What's surprising for me is if Knights have obviously agreed to let Pearce go. Surely, for them to say yes, you can go, they've got 100% confirmation of his replacement. You don't say yes, you can go before you've got a replacement.
No,
you know?
because that would be sheer and utter madness.
So
Because they didn't need to.
do you
Could've been
agree
like,
with
you signed
Pearce
a year?
going?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Get out, bruh.
Oh, as in, don't get me wrong. I think everyone thinks, yeah, fucking oath, get out. But
I don't mean that in a
from-
bad way, get out.
No,
I just
no,
mean,
no. Like, go get the crumpets.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Go
It's
and
like
get the crumpets.
every single post where it's like, Pierce is released or whatever, I just see under the thing, crumpets, crumpets.
But not knowing who they've
Someone
sort of,
put their crumpets out. We were getting sent ones where these guys like putting the crumpets outside
Yeah.
their fucking house
In
a number
like
7 jersey.
celebration of
put your crumpets out. Put your crumpets out, which I loved.
Yeah. Well,
But without knowing who they've earmarked as his replacement, it's hard to say because, like, on the face of it, they don't have anyone, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what the fuck's that about?
But like, if you're Luke Brooks, I don't know
I think he needs
why
a
you'd
sea change.
stay at the fucking Tigers.
Luke needs a sea change.
Change is good as a holiday. They say that.
Fucking oath it is.
you know
Good
what?
as a holiday.
You know what he needs? He needs obviously change, but also, when chicks break up with their boyfriends and they get a haircut, that's quite drastic. I
Yes.
think he needs to do that as well.
He needs a change of look, a
Like
glow
everything.
up.
He needs a glow up. He needs a glow up.
And I
Glow
tell
up.
you who could give him one of the great glow ups all time.
Joe.
The greatest footballer of all time, Joe Johns.
Yeah.
He even had a few glow ups himself.
Let's get him living with Kalen.
That's it. But maybe that's why Luke's not saying anything. He's like, bruh, I got this offer over here from the Knights. Joey offering to glow me up.
I'm going to go move in with Kalen. Join
I'd
the
be like
257.
100 fucking % if I'm Luke Brooks because it's like he's stuck in mud at the Tigers.
He probably
They just
needs a
don't
bit
go
of a
anywhere.
brand overhaul as well. Like he can get a cool haircut. He can start dressing fresh like the lads.
Yep. Yep.
Start fucking being seen out at some events.
Yep. He can start like just doing cool shit.
Just doing cool shit.
Like-
Pick up a camera. Start taking some photos.
Yep.
Maybe buy a new stick, go out and fucking catch a couple with Joey.
Oh, fuck yeah.
know
Couple of
what I mean?
waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Down at
For sure.
Merriweather.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
A few like little tattoos of like a smiley face and like
Yeah.
a stick
Yeah,
man or
but
something.
I think Julian Wilson lives there. Maybe he goes out and gets a couple with him.
But
You know
not
what I mean?
like a
Now he looks
full
like a
sleeve.
motherfucker.
Yeah, he is a
just like
motherfucker.
real, like plotted all over
Yeah,
your
yeah.
body.
Not a full sleeve. You don't go
None
the full
related
sleeve.
to each other.
No, subtle.
Yeah, all subtle
This
kind of
means
just.
this, this means this,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
means it. You know?
Get the like the hair forward, like the simple Jack haircut.
Yep, yep. Or goes curly like Ponga like curly hot guy.
That's true. Like is it wet? Is it not? Is it just fucking
Did you do your
glorious?
hair, or did you literally just wake up and be like, oh, fuck, this is where I am?
Yeah.
I think
Or a
Brooks could pull that
blonde,
off.
just fucking peroxide it.
That's the biggest change. Like, that is a go-to for rugby league players is like, fucking, I'm getting blonde hair.
Yeah.
He could go peroxide with like the simple jack fringe.
You could. And then, or like the Hulk Hogan, like, I'm brown. Like, my hair's brown, but I'm just going
Yeah.
That could
with
work.
a simple jack fringe. Combine like fucking 4 different hairstyles. Then have a ponytail at the back.
You know
we're
what?
talking.
You know what would rate is a show that was a Joey glow up, and he glows them up everything from
Like
the
Pimp
look
My
to
Ride.
play. Yeah,
No, like Queer Eye for the straight guy, but it's like
it's Joey glowing footy players up.
eighth eye for the dude that hasn't made finals. Or the eighth
But it's
eye
got to
for
have
the
legs.
new guy.
It's got to, for the new guy. Boom.
Eighth eye for the new guy.
Eighth
Love
eye
it.
for the new guy. That is a show. I'd watch that shit.
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Holy shit.
Eighth,
Bit of footy in there, bit of life,
Yeah.
bit of style.
bit of few beers.
Yeah, oh, plenty.
Maybe even a little bit of a controversy where like they argue with each other, and he's like, "I'm the fucking eighth. Get out of
Yeah,
here, dog."
and then Luke's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?" And they sort of, but then they come
then
together because you've got to
Brooksy-
see conflict and then
Brooks is like,
resolution.
"I won Player of the Year last year,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm the fucking eighth."
How many cups you want? I want 2 by myself.
Yeah, and he's wearing his Dally M's around his neck while he's doing it.
And then you know how they come together? They both like hug each other. And he's like, "I got a bucket ass too."
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
got
that's
that,
the
yeah.
thing that brings them together. They both got
They
bucket
both got
asses.
big fat asses.
Yeah,
Joey
I-
helps him like fucking get his jeans on.
Yeah, that would be good.
That
Like,
would be, and that's how it ends.
Yeah.
yes.
That's lovely.
And it's fully like a thought Instagram post of like Luke Brooks with the music on going, "I can't get my fucking jeans on."
And then Joey,
And like,
I got you.
let me show you.
And then they still don't win the comp.
I'm now convinced more than ever that Luke Brooks needs a glow up.
He needs a glow up. Needs a good newer glow up. And Kalen Ponga mixed with Joey.
Do we give him Botox? I know he's young, but like, fuck it.
He's not that young. He's
not
not
that
young
young.
enough for Botox.
Look, you know, the Tigers have been struggling, and that would have aged him a lot.
Fuck yeah.
He's actually only 18 years old. He
Yeah.
looks fucking 30.
Get rid of the crow's feet.
Yep.
Cutlet, maybe some lip fillers.
Look, it's a new age. It's a new age.
Just filler him up.
In a world where you can have a cock and be a wet nurse, I think he can get some Botox.
Yep.
Um,
At 22 or whatever he is. 26.
But it is interesting that I want to know who's going. Like, if no one's going to Knights, where do they make the 8 this year?
No.
If Pearce isn't there,
No.
Is Corey Norman anywhere or is he retiring?
I don't know.
He's not that fucking old, is
He's
he?
no, he's I think like 30, and he's like he gets a lot of slack. And don't get me wrong, I know he hasn't delivered on the promise that he showed, but he hasn't been that bad.
No.
Like, you know, and maybe I'm biased because I'm mates with him, but when I watch his game, as I said, yes, obviously hasn't.
Does he go in and out of games?
Yeah, a little bit, but like there's still. I don't think he's been like so bad that he can't bounce back in
Yeah.
playing role. Like it was only like what last year or the year before.
Played Origin.
He played Origin, and he was playing pretty good footy. So I think he's probably just waiting for a good deal. I look.
Has he got crumpets on the mind, you reckon?
Well, maybe, but again, he's such a cruisy dude. I don't know if he'd want to go and live in a cold England place. I'm not sure. It's strange. Like he surely can get a training trial somewhere. Surely, it would suck because Corey Norman had so much potential, man. Like, you know, he was a good ball player, great ball runner, very deceptive. You know, I think it was at the Eels they made it to the prelim maybe. Or whatever, so like he's a good footy player. Again, I know I'm biased because he's my mate, and I know a lot of St George fans will be sitting there going, "Fuck off!" Like we lost this, that, next thing. But I'm like,
I mean, let's be honest though, Dragons fans
was struggling before he got
Was
there.
it your club?
yeah, he's struggling before he got there. Again, that's not excusing. I'm not saying that he killed it or whatever. I'm just saying I do believe there's plenty of footy left in Norman, just like I believe there's footy left in Ash Taylor, in Luke Brooks. I think we're very quick to just like that's it,
Scrap
done.
heap
Yeah,
them.
scrap done. So very interesting to see what happens there. But Luke Brooks go up is the way to go. Now, this is very bizarre. A huge grain of salt here because I haven't seen a quote saying this unless you can find the quote, Matt. But apparently Hughes has informed the Storm that he will not take up an option in his contract for 2024 and instead will go to market to secure a long-term deal. His manager has said the Dolphins are a genuine option for him and they have held preliminary talks, but said Storm are in the box seat. Now, the only reason why we're talking about this is because his manager has said the Dolphins are interested. So it is bizarre that this early we are talking about this. So please take this with a grain of salt, but very strange times. Tom.
I got a question.
Yes.
He can't negotiate with any club for like 5 years, right?
No,
Can't you like not negotiate with another club until the fucking November the year before?
well, he can sign. So as of November the 1st, 2022, he can sign with another club. So I'm pretty sure that he could. You can talk to clubs really at any time. I think talk, but you just can't.
You can't formally talk.
You can't formally like enter
That's
negotiation.
preliminary.
Well, what the fuck's a formal talk?
Well, like you're sitting down. Here's an offer. We want you. You know,
No 69ing. In a
no
preliminary
60.
talk.
You can wine dine. You just can't do the 69 part.
Okay, that makes
That's
sense.
the difference.
Yeah.
And that is the difference as it
Yeah.
worked out last week.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, really.
No,
Yeah.
it is. Okay, so like, sure. I mean, am I that concerned this far out? You know what I
So
mean? Like,
is the option in his contract just for the 2024 season?
Yes.
He's not taking that up.
but he's going to be playing at the Storm for the next 2 years at least, unless they let him go.
Yes.
Yeah, 22, 23.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's saying, instead of taking up that third option, which would be priced at X,
Yep.
I'm going back to the drawing board.
How old is he?
And you can pay me
It's
fucking
about 26,
what?
27.
Right, so in fucking.
So he's not looking for another big boy?
Apparently he's on the reports are 700k million. But I just want to be clear. A lot of the time, especially on this show, I'm always like, the clubs have the power and they leak stuff. And this is a perfect case of a player manager leaking stuff and going to the media to try and drive up Hughes' price. This is not the club doing anything wrong. And this I don't like. Like, I don't like when player managers do this. I think it's unfair on the Storm with how good the Storm have been on Hughes. So, again, a lot of the time, people in the comment section will be like, I'm very, I guess, player biased. But in this particular case, I do think it's unfair of his manager to even take this to the media because the Storm have been really good to Hughes. And I understand the manager's trying to do his job, but I really feel this could have been kept behind closed doors.
Could Hughes not have told his manager not to do that?
It's not. You don't really have. Look, I was never on that big a contract, so maybe it's different. Whereas I had a weird relationship with my manager where it felt like I worked for him, because it's such an age difference.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old, he's fucking 45 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So you don't really. You don't really plan with them, say this, don't say this. What I think has happened is Jahrome has said, I'm not taking the option up. The manager's gone, look, the best way to get you the most money is I'm going to go, he probably didn't say this to Hughes, but in his head, my job is to get you as much money as you can. I'm going to go to the public or leak it to the public via the media, which gets other clubs interested in knowing that you are available to talk soonish.
Yeah.
Also, this is pretty subtle, but the quote is, "We've advised Melbourne we won't be taking up the option at this stage for 2024.
Yeah. So it's a pure play from the manager to get Hughes more money, which is fair enough. Just like a club is trying to get a player for cheap as, players trying to get more money. But again, I'm always saying it's unfair how the clubs have the narrative and they leak stuff. Now, in this specific case, I don't like the fact that his manager has gone public with this. I think it's unfair on the Storm, to make this public. It just doesn't sit right with me. This far out, it just
That's what
doesn't
I mean.
sit right.
It's just kind of I heard it this morning on the radio and I was like, okay, sure, dude.
Yep. But
I
it
don't know what
creates
the fuck's gonna
unnecessary
happen in
tension
2024.
now. Unnecessary tension. Now,
Yeah.
he's clearly trying to get more money. What if the Storm say, you're absolutely not getting more money? Then now 2 years before his contract ends, there's already tension of we aren't going to give you what you want.
It's awkward.
Instead of just being look, mate, we'll negotiate that down the line. Let's get, focus on footy. So, but it is
Storm are
interesting.
in a funny position, though, because Hughes, big money, Munster, big
Yep.
money, Papenhuyzen, big money, Grant, big
Yep.
money. They can't afford all of them, surely.
Absolutely. And the key is they never used to have to deal with this. When it was the Cronks, Slater and Smith era, again, maybe I'm wrong and I'm forgetting, so apologies if I am. But all the contract stuff was behind closed doors, whereas they're getting their main half not taking his option up 2 years before the option.
Just relax,
That's
dude.
bizarre. I don't. Again, I just not. I know his manager's trying to do his job. I just don't.
It feels a bit early to me.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
Very early.
And I don't think I just don't think it's fair on the Storm, to put them in that position where now they have to, move really early on something 2 years away, pretty much. But Jahrome Hughes, apparently he's on 600 to 700k. Again, it's just all reports, so it could be completely inaccurate. How much do you think Hughes is worth on the open market? And where do you rate him as a half, as a premiership winning half?
In the Storm system, like the way he played this year, you could argue he's close to $1 million player.
Yeah.
There are certainly clubs that would pay him that because, again, based on how he's playing, it's whether he'd be able to replicate that at another club. Like, I wouldn't. He's a great player, so it's hard to know though. Like when you see all these players that go to Melbourne and then they go and fucking rip, and then they leave Melbourne and they.
That's
don't.
my only like query around it. Is it the Melbourne system more than him, or is he legitimately ripping and tearing? But on form alone, in his time, especially the last 12 months at the Storm, I think he's worth $1 million.
But you've also got 2 fucking years before anyone's going to do anything anyway. So like your form could fall off a goddamn cliff.
Well, I think that maybe what the player manager's play is like...
Well, get the Storm to basically lock him in.
Get the Storm to lock him in because he's hot right now. And, you know...
Is it kind of a bumbling fucking move from the manager? Because the Storm are like, okay, bruh. Yeah, this isn't our first contract negotiation. Fuck off. We'll deal with it later.
I'm not sure. It depends how they react to it. I just don't like it. Like just like I don't like it when clubs do this to players and like leak like we're offering him $800K a year. Like they leak it so it can't be brought back to them, and the journo's like, oh yeah, such and such been offered a 3-year deal worth $1 million a year, but the reality is the club's really offered him $600K. But what happens is the player looks like a piece of shit because the fans are like, are you serious? You're declining a $1 million a year contract. I'm just using the $1 million random number. Yeah. I don't like when clubs do that, and I don't like when player managers do this because it's like, bro, like this could all be kept internal. Like it's 2 years away. You've got plenty of time to work through this.
Is it the manager putting it out there so that there is interest and you start to get a sense of what his market price might be so that it influences the Storm's other signing decisions? Because they're like, I'm going to be wanting this ballpark figure, which is going to dictate how you spend your cap money.
And that's what I was just about to say, is that the timing of this is interesting, as you just exactly said, because so many big players are coming off contract. I think the manager's going, fuck, they better keep some money in the cap for my boy, because if they sign all these players on big money, when my guy comes off contract, they're going to have no money. So you're totally right. Like the manager is probably timing it to let them know, oi boys, like
don't fuck around.
Yeah, keep some money in the cap for Hughes because he hasn't taken up his option and he will explore options. So yeah, absolutely. But I just don't like the public. I don't like the public nature of it because now your main 7 has said I'm not taking the option to say that the message that sends is it's not a good message to send. It's like when Munster kind of come out and was like, I'd go back up to Queensland or whatever. A lot of the Storm didn't really like the feel of that because it's like saying, what you don't want to be a part of what we have here.
You're looking elsewhere.
And so they kind of pulled him up with that. So. Look, I think Hughes on the open market, I think a 700 to 800 for me is where I'd land him. I think that the $1 million mark, although he's a premiership winner, as you said, the risk of, is it the Storm or is it him? It's clearly him. Like I honestly, right now, he's probably the second best half in the game.
Isn't that technically a $1 million player then? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think he'd be $1 million, like. You could see the Dogs paying $1 million. Like you could see clubs that need to spend overs to get a fucking gun.
Oh no, I absolutely agree with you.
What I'm saying.
I'm coming from a position of if it was my club. If I'm signing him, the concern I would have is
the
like
Beaks.
the Brisbane Brown Snakes.
Yeah.
Brisbane Brown Snakes. We're going to contract table. It'd be like unbelievable player, top 3, absolutely half in the game. But the Storm system is so incredible. And it's not just the players around him, it's just the environment. First of all, I've got to be real with myself. Can the Brisbane Brown Snakes replicate that setup? Probably not. So...
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Well, what the Hello Sport, what would your club be called?
I mean, that's a good question. Kookaburras? We were just talking about our favourite birds on the podcast.
I did steal your name, though, the Brown Snakes.
Yeah.
That is unfair.
Well, that's true.
But it's been stolen.
It's been stolen.
It's
too late. I mean,
but that's how we work as a club.
You need an animal, though.
Do you?
Well, the punters and dribblers is a bit fucking... I mean, the Storm isn't an animal.
What about just the dribblers?
Could do the dribblers. Could do the dribblers. I don't mind that.
I like the dribblers.
We'd have
the Dubbo dribblers.
We'd have half the Manly boys coming to jump ship.
The Dubbo dribblers is fucking good. The Dubbo
dribblers. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Play at Apex.
Right, so
Nice. Nice.
so I stole from you, but I gave you something back. So now where you can't sue me in court.
You taketh away, but you giveth back.
Yeah,
give
so
it
you're
back,
not. You
that's it.
cannot sue the.
No, we can
brown
still
snake.
sue you for
No,
stealing
it's
that
on.
of us.
It's fucking live on.
Exactly, the thievery was fucking.
No, but
caught
I
on
gave
camera.
you something back,
It
and you
doesn't
just said
matter.
yes.
If I
You
steal
admit-
your
no,
phone
you
and give
admit-
you a fucking
you-
paperclip,
exactly.
I've still stolen
The
something from
Dubbo
you.
dribblers isn't a paperclip. It's a fucking.
I'm
It's a
just
home
saying-
run. We know that.
It's a
know that,
home
but
run.
We'll
you
take the home run and we'll still sue.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, because we're ruthless.
Yeah,
And
we're
that's
counter-sue.
why-
That's why with our system's
Yeah.
going to work.
No,
That's
I'm
why
going
the
to
brown
counter sue.
snakes are
I'm counter
fucked.
suing because I don't give you permission to use Dubbo dribblers.
Well, you already did.
You don't own dribblers.
You don't
we
own
do.
dribblers.
No,
We actually,
but I come up with the phrase.
and he owns Dubbo, so
I'm going to drag you through court.
I can't wait. We'll see you in court.
You know, we should have like a fake actual court and get someone to like judge it.
Yeah,
and
we've got to get
put
up
our
and make our
arguments together.
cases. I don't mind that.
You know what? Have you announced that idea for Magic Round, or you haven't talked
No,
about it? Okay,
haven't.
all right. Well, that could be a part of it. Sorry, guys. That's VIP information.
Yeah, sorry guys. No, sorry. about
Now, yeah. So Hughes, interesting times. It's, you know what? If you're Storm, you're sitting there going, "Fuck, this is the last thing we needed." Like the cheese is on the market. People are trying to poach Munster.
Is the thread unraveling?
No, I think not. I think the Storm, every year the thread nearly unravels and then they fucking kill us. I do think they're in unique territory where their big dogs have been caught cleaning their clothes with Omo, and that's never happened before.
Yeah.
You know, their
That's
big
what
dogs.
I'm
have-
saying.
Yeah.
Now blokes are trying to leave.
Is there also maybe a little, like, every year we get less and less, what's the word? Less and less sort of connected to the one club player idea. And like everyone's like, one club players are dead, and largely they are. But like with every year you get away, like the younger generation are more like, this is a fucking business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
less of that like Melbourne Storm loyalty, fucking this is how we've always done it, stick together, keep our big guns together. It's like, fuck that, new team.
Yep.
Get some of that fucking.
I think it's
To
become
a degree, like if you let's use the Turbos for example. If Manly looks after them,
They are. You could argue.
they're on huge money though. It's
Yeah.
more the middle of the range guys. You're
yeah,
trying
but
to
that's
keep.
what I'm saying. One club player, if the money's
if the money's right.
the money's right,
Yeah.
But you're really only.
but that's
gonna get
sort
a
of but that rings true with everyone now, right?
But I'm saying the Storm managed, well, except for the last 2 years of Cronk's career, but like Smith and Slater.
Yeah. Roosters did it for
they
years.
were also on like what players are taking massive unders to stay
Well,
at the club,
Roosters
same
did it
club?
for Roosters did it for a long time. They had a group of 5 that had all kind of agreed. We'll take
Unders,
unders.
yeah, but
Manly
not
did it for a long
Manly
time.
did it. Yeah, but okay, look, what's Munster's on like 800 or something, isn't he? Or is he on $1 million?
I think he'd been about 800-900.
Because like Munster could literally be fucking given
1.2.
1.2 and, you know, daily wristies as part
I'll do
of
the
the
wristies.
contract.
I'll do the wristies.
There you go. To come to the Brown Snakes. Like,
Come to
Yeah.
Brown
but
Snakes.
so he's taken unders to stay
Yeah,
in
that's
like
true.
a.
You get a wristy a
and
day.
the cheese, he would take unders. Like that all, you have
I
to
give
take
him wristies
unders.
too.
There you
That's a
go.
good point.
I'll do 2 wristies a day.
Well, you got 2 hands then.
Exactly. Same time.
Yeah.
Piece of piss.
You could get through more than 2. You're fucking slacking off.
Yeah, it's true.
You can get through- you
Brown
can get
Snake.
through
Put it this way:
8 or
Brisbane Brown
9.
Snake. Brisbane Brown Snakes. You get a wristy a
Suck.
day in your contract. That's top
Right,
30.
Those triceps will be fucking
Top 30.
pumping by
But if
the
you're
end
not in
of
the
that.
top 30, no wristies.
That's fair.
Actually, if not in top 30, you have to give the wristies.
So how many are you giving out a day?
Well, I'm going to
Well,
bring in
30.
the shit kickers like reserve graders. They got to come in and give the boys wristies.
You're not doing it?
I'm going to do a bit of it. But I can't do all of it.
So you just
Fucking
sort of
hell.
you do like the marquee player.
I do
Because
the
if,
marquee
if he's
players.
doing 2 a day each, 60 blokes. That's 60 a day.
Yeah, but I like to
Top
look,
30.
I like to
rough.
offer quality. I don't want to just get through it.
You
Get it
right, you wanna
wine
make
and
an
dine at
experience.
69.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
But I mean, you know what? If
And who
it's
knows? It could go further.
if it's quick, it was probably good. So I mean, it doesn't matter as long as you're doing
if you
your
can
job
get
right.
through them, then good for you.
Yeah.
Power to you.
Yeah.
Now, I forgot what we were talking about as we
It's not
delved into the
surprising.
depths of
not
depravity that is the Dirty Merger podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, Hughes, it's very interesting times for the Storm. Interesting times. I think that, you know, we're still not through the post Cam Smith, Billy Slater, Cronk era. It's going to take a few years to really find out how much damage is done in the sense of like losing these goats. How much, you know, they had this record-breaking year this year, but at the end of the day, in the big game, like put it this way, if Cameron Smith plays this year, they probably win the grand final.
I think they definitely do.
You know, which
They had their worst game. They're probably, arguably, like one of their worst games of the season.
absolutely, and so
Against was it Penrith? Yeah.
Yeah.
against Penrith. So they knock off Penrith in that game. they could.
They beat the Bunnies.
I reckon with the Cam Smith, which shows you like just how fucking good he is. So it's going to take a few years to see life without them, where they really land.
You got a 3-hour show with Cam Smith now.
Yes, I do. I do actually. Forgot to announce.
Congratulations.
that's
fucking
exciting.
that's mad.
It's absolutely wild to think about a 3-hour show with the greatest rugby league player of all time.
Was last year an hour?
Last year was like 45 minutes.
So what? And this is like a full blown motherfucking show.
This is a motherfucker.
Woo-wee.
Same sort of setup, or
Yeah,
anything
like-
else you can report?
Well, we'll try and prepare it really well. So, like, what we're going to do is we're going to sit down and basically put it in the show into sections. But the good thing is Ken Smith knows everyone, so it's going to have you
Shitloads
might
of
have
guests.
1 hour of like great footy analysis, and then you might have an hour of like interviewing Bellamy and Brad Fittler. So he's going to not lean on, but call his mates.
Essentially, open the black book.
So we'll do like an interview, and then another hour of whatever. So
open
it's
the-
going to be epic, bro. Like the what we can deliver on that with Cameron Smith's connections is absolutely wild. Like we'll be able to call essentially any NRL player, past or present.
He hasn't called
and
us
get
yet, has
them
he?
on a show.
Cam hasn't contacted.
I think he said to reach out though.
He did?
He told me to tell you to reach out.
Well, no, can you tell him to reach out as well? You say reach
So
out.
I
back.
say,
You tell him that Hello Sports said to him for him
reach
to
out.
reach out to us.
Yeah.
okay, so you want him
And we
to reach out first.
reach out to nobody.
we don't reach out.
So you don't reach out?
No.
So
You just tell Cam to reach out.
So I'll tell him that I went and told them to reach out to you, but you said
Reach out back.
You reach out back.
Yeah.
But hasn't he already reached out by telling you to reach out?
No, but we want him to take you out of the reaching out.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you go back to Cameron and say, instead of reaching out through you, reach out yourself
Directly.
to us.
Okay. So you don't deal with middlemen.
No.
Okay.
No.
Fucking
Like we
hell.
appreciate like preliminary talks going that way. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you tell him that.
Oh, okay. So this was like preliminary negotiations.
Yeah, we
but you feel
haven't
you're past that
69
point.
yet. So
Okay.
that's him reaching out to us. And
Okay,
then we go to
okay.
dinner and we
So
see.
you give him our number.
You know what? I'll
and then
try and
he'll
get
call
him.
us.
I'll try and get him in a punters and dribblers hat. How about that?
That'd be perfect.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. And then like probably putting on his Instagram wearing the hat, being like, Tom and Eddie, could you please fucking?
I'm reaching out.
I'm reaching out. Consider this me reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Come
and
in,
wine
I'm
and
reaching
dine
out.
me and,
Yeah.
The rest of it.
and me.
But it's going to be, as I said, it's going to be epic because like it's not going to be, the locker room is like broken up to you get your, best in the country interviews is crazy. You get your best in the country podcast, which is crazy when it comes to sport. Whereas this is going to be all in one every week.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait. I'm going to try to put a fair bit of resources behind it when it comes to like the filming of it correctly, flying up to Gold Coast to do it. So we've got, it's all about vibe, as you know, being in the same room.
It's all vibe.
It's all vibe. So very exciting times. Every single Thursday, 9 till 12, Cameron Smith and myself, and we are going to have guests from every sport, the biggest dogs in the country. We're going to have deep analysis. Like some of the stuff he says off air when he's talking like breaking down like teams and shit is wild. You're going to get all that. We're going to break down big plays, everything.
Get him
So
on a
stay tuned.
whiteboard.
Get him on a whiteboard. Oh, he'd
Love
work
that.
a whiteboard. He'd work a
He'd
whiteboard.
work a fucking
Oh, yeah.
whiteboard.
Into the ground.
Now, only reports and speculations, but it seems Munster is no longer an option for the Dolphins, according to Dean Ritchie, who spoke with the club. He's set to sign a deal to remain a one-club player in Melbourne. This is really smart by Melbourne. He goes through the tough times. He comes out. He's seeming fresh and happy. When I spoke to Munster recently, he seemed, recharged and ready to go. Smart by the Melbourne to go at this point in his life where he's happy. He feels like he owes the club something. Lock him in, keep him down there. And to be totally honest, I want Munster to stay at the club and be a one-club player. He's a Storm through and through. You know what? That Brizzy life, it's not good, baby.
Yeah.
Stay down and...
That's it. You got a couple of weeks in the off season.
There's Omo everywhere. There's Omo
It's
everywhere.
fucking Omo for days. There's Omo in Melbourne, but there's not as many people with cameras
Yes.
who want to catch
There's
you doing the washing.
yeah, most people don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
He's like
camera
a
phones,
god walking around Brisbane, mate.
Yeah.
camera phones haven't come out yet in Melbourne, so
No, they
that's
haven't.
also a
Well,
positive.
they have, but they're all just such fucking
Wow.
fast-sniffing hipsters. They use
Old phones.
Film.
Smoking.
You gotta
They
get 'em
use
fucking-
smoke signals.
Yeah, they got to get them developed and shit.
Now, Kevin Walters has said Adam Reynolds is a strong candidate to be the Broncos captain. Payne has agreed, but also threw in Kurt Capewell. Look, I think you have to either go Adam Reynolds or Kurt Capewell. I would go Adam Reynolds because he's a premiership. He captain last year, went to the grand final. Where do the Broncos lie for you? Where do they lie for this season coming up? Seriously.
Honestly, I think they'll make the 8.
I think that you'll
cool.
be 9 to 12.
9 to 12?
Yeah.
8?
Yep. I think they just scrape in.
Yeah, that'd be a win for me. 8 to 10 is where I'm lying.
Yeah.
8 to 10.
I don't think you'll make the 8.
You don't think I'll make it?
Because I think Newcastle will fall out. There's a position there, like based on last year. You know what I mean?
Sharks are actually probably looking better.
Sharks are looking pretty good.
The Broncos, like, mate, with Adam Reynolds in there, which is like the half was the biggest fucking problem last year. Kurt Capewell, beautiful stuff. Payne Haas, strength to strength.
Solomon Cobbo at the back there. Paddy Carrigan back to full strength. Yeah, I think Adam Reynolds is right. Now,
I think 8 to 10 is
Okay.
about spot on.
Cade Cust leaves Manly, signs a deal with the great Wigan Warriors.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Flags would half-mast across the
Yeah.
peninsula and,
Cade Cust was a core of your, like a Cade Cust. Every team needs that.
Every
You
team
lost
needs
it.
a Cade.
He's the greatest Cade of all time.
Whoa.
Big call, but
That's
the
a
right
big
call.
call.
But it's the right call. There's
the
no
right call.
There's no other way to look at it. The greatest Cade of all time leaves the NRL, leaves the Manly Sea Eagles. I don't know if this is true, Matty, but I read it from a dribbler in a comment, so it might be, that Manly have maybe done something with him where it's like when you come back, you come to Manly. And I'm just thinking, he's 23 years old, greatest Cade of all time at 23, unprecedented. You go over to Wigan, you go and win a couple of Man of Steels. Daly Cherry Evans gets a little bit older and a little bit older and a little bit older. You come back, we're looking for a half. Cade slots right back in. He's gone and played consistent big boy footy, pounding the fuck out of losers in the Super League.
Are we in Jamie Lyon territory of go Super League, rip and tear, come back, rip and tear?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a lot
That's
of
what I'm
synergy there.
saying.
There's a
What do you
lot
got
of
there, Matt?
synergy.
As part of the release agreement, the Sea Eagles will hold an option to recontract Cade should he decide to return to the NRL.
Bang.
There we go.
That's
Cade
interesting.
goes over, two Man of Steels, stiff shit Pierce, 2 comps, he'll win.
Yep.
Then he comes back refreshed, revitalised, ready to go. He's become an even greater Cade.
Well, he's also thickened up in
He's
his...
thickened. He's become an even greater
international
Cade.
Cade?
Yeah, an international Cade. A Cade of
Consequence?
substance and of consequence.
Yep.
He comes back in, much like Killer did when he left and came back to Manly. And, you know,
We win comp after
we win
comp,
comp
after comp.
after comp after comp after comp.
You pair
after
that
comp,
into
after comp.
Eddie, 'cause
comp.
every team... We are obviously on the lookout for a Cade as a club because every club worth its salt needs a Cade. We know that.
Well, he's technically still
He's technically still with us. So
Sort of.
what we've done is we've actually just signed like another 4 brothers. So if you don't have the Cade at your club, the caveat to that is if you have at least 7 brothers from
That
one
makes up
or
for one
two-
Cade.
one or two
Oh.
gene pools,
Yeah.
then that makes up for a Cade. So we've got 3 turbos and we've got 4 finals. So we're actually looking all right.
Have you seen the young finer that signed like one of the biggest deals in
Yeah,
fucking
I
history?
haven't seen his
Latu
highlights,
Fainu.
but Latu,
Big deal.
yeah, big deal.
apparently he gave fucking SG Ball a real working over.
Well, I think he was like 15 and he won.
Or Harold
like
Matts, maybe it was.
16 or 15. He won. It was a year up and he won the Player of the Series or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Rips and tears.
Interesting though from Manly, it seems that they've kind of said, look, we need you playing a high level of footy, leading a team around, and like, you know, obviously you want to make money, so why don't you go to a Super League and then come back? You know, it's very interesting that they've said like if you come back, it has to be here. So I actually think it's more of a like it's genuinely we need you to develop, and you're not going to develop enough in New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
So go get your money, go get your Man of Steels, your crumpets even, come back. And get the job done. So
Yeah.
very interesting.
That's
Very
Manly
it's
playing.
a-
That's just Manly playing eyes up footy.
Well, it would be
Sue us.
very like super smart if he is the guy they hope that replaces Cherry, or at least helps replace Cherry when he moves on. It's super smart because by that stage Cherry's what 33 years old, 34 years
Well,
old.
that's
Yeah.
it. He comes back. This Latu kid's got fucking,
You get a couple
Schuster,
of years
got
growing
Schuster
in
there
as
too.
well.
He's
We've
coming
got
into his
Schuster.
own. Well,
Mate,
Schuster's
Cade's a good
6.
player. Cade's a good player.
Yeah.
Like Cade
I was surprised when he didn't win the
get picked
hooking
up.
role.
Well, yeah, exactly. So were we. And then obviously, Croaks became the greatest hooker in the game. It happened that way.
He honestly was one of the most improved players in the game. That's
Without
no
a
G
doubt.
up.
Well, he just took his opportunity and ran with it.
He did.
And it is what it is. But I thought Cade did a job.
He did a job.
Every time he came in, he did a
Cade's
job.
always do a job though.
They do. Sometimes two. Sometimes they've got a couple of jobs, multiple incomes, revenue streams. But sad to see him go.
Well, Cade's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he is. Jack of all Cades.
Cade's a Jack.
Jack of all Cades.
All Cades can be known as Jacks.
Of all trades.
Anthony Griffin is set to play Jack.
Yeah.
Not a Cade.
Not
Jack.
a Cade, he's a Jack.
Jack Bird at lock, which
Not a real bird.
I think that finally is where he belongs.
I like that.
I thought that was where he was playing most of the season. Or was
Nah,
he in the centres?
he moved between, and since he's been down at Dragons, he's actually been really good. really good. He
Yeah,
played a bit
Yeah,
of
fucking
centres,
oath he has.
Played a bit of 6, I think. Played a bit of fullback. But I think he's old enough now, got enough weight in his body. Put him at lock. He's a great ball player, great strong ball runner, but also just the energy he's going to be bringing through the middle, you know?
He's a tough prick.
Tough.
Hopefully now, if he's injury free, I think that's good.
And I think you put Bellin in the front row because the game's sped up so much. You know, you've got a more mobile front row. Yes, he's not as big, but fuck, he can chop through the middle. Great tackling technique. He put Jack Bird at 13. Where do you see the Dragons next year? Do you think that do they do the same thing every year? They start really well.
They start well.
Yep.
They'll be
And then
they might be winning the comp. Then they'll be like top 4. Then
They've
they'll be
also,
top 8,
but
then
like
they'll
they
be-
haven't really, from memory, I often tune out when the Dragons are brought up, but they haven't really replaced, like they haven't replaced the players they've lost. So they're like, they're fullbacks between Sloan and Ramsey, so it's not exactly like tier 1 yet.
Well,
So-
Sloan is a gun.
I know he's a gun, right?
Yeah.
And seeing him play, I was like, why the fuck were they bringing Dufty back a lot of the time? Because he is a gun.
Yeah.
But just like, there's a few unknowns with the Dragons because they've
Sloan,
let some players
Amon,
go.
Sullivan, all guns. And they got their Fagai twins on the wing. One's a winger. I think one might be a centre. But anyway, they got good youth coming through.
But that's sort of it, though,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's still youth.
I don't think they'll make the 8.
You don't reckon they make that? I reckon I actually think they'll hover around the 7 to 10 mark. They've got a good like Moneyball side where he signed players for not that much cash, but they got experience. They're toilers. They get the job done. I actually think I like what Hook's been doing. I really do. I actually really do. Now, Isaiah Papali'i is still looking to test the open market. But he'll definitely stay in Sydney because his family's there. Now, do you think the Eels should move someone on to keep Isaiah? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's your head at with a guy like Isaiah?
Who are their back rows again? Like, so you've got
Ryan Madison, Slane, Sean Lane,
Cartwright.
Cartwright.
I mean, you could.
They lost Nicore, but Nicore's going to be next year.
You certainly could move someone on to keep him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's better than all of those players.
How much would you pay him?
6?
He's Dally M. But they probably can't afford a 600K a year. And also, like, edge back rowers, although he's a fucking gun. I actually like him in the front row, to be honest. 600K on an edge back rower, it's risky. Risky in the cap.
What's Angus Crichton on?
I think he'd be on about maybe 400K.
No, really?
Yeah.
I thought he'd be on. Like, I thought the fucking yarn about Crichton.
Boyd
Was on
only-
like
I thought
he was on
7 or some
800.
shit,
Nah,
7 or 8.
Boyd only retired this year, and Boyd would be that they can't have Boyd on 800K and fucking
Chooks can.
Crichton. I honestly, he's just about to come off contract too.
I
Angus.
I tell you what, like,
I thought the whole thing when he went to the Roosters, it was like 700-800.
Nah, it
that's
wasn't
what
that
I
big.
thought.
Nah, when he went to the Roosters, he was still a young gun. Like he wasn't like fully established yet or anything.
Actualised.
Yeah, nah. It was a big contract, but big, relatively speaking, to his experience.
so the lock money's bigger.
I'd say these days, yeah. Like, I'd say Victor Radley probably. That's where they're trying to balance. Is like even though Victor Radley signed a
Like
real
Jack de
contract-
Bellin is on a fair bit of coin,
Yes,
apparently.
reportedly.
reportedly.
But he was an Origin fucking. lock
Jake's
at
on
that
a lot of
stage.
money.
But compared to the Roosters with the team they have, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's just
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, you read these fucking numbers or people throw them out, and they're obviously, like, as you've pointed out to us many times, they're often inflated.
Yeah.
I would like it'd be interesting to know what these people are actually on versus what I think they're on. in my head.
Do you agree? Like, so there's been a yarn for a while now. Just make everyone's salaries public. I think, does the NBA or NFL do it?
I think in the US they do
The
it.
NBA definitely.
What do you think? I don't like it from the sense of like it's an invasion of privacy. Like this, that's it. Life, like knowing what I'm on. That's very personal.
I
I get the
understand,
argument,
but
though,
it's
so what do you
like,
think?
Yeah, from a like content fucking just sticky beak sort of a fucking thing. I'd love to know. Makes life a lot easier than the
But
speculation.
think about how much added pressure, and abuse they would cop. Let's say you're a
Yes.
sign-on potential, and they can see you're on 800K and you're playing terrible. Think of the abuse they'd be copping.
But aren't they still copping abuse regardless if they're not?
Yeah,
playing
but
well?
there's a lot of players that, like, timing-wise, they get a mad contract, but then they play shit. Like, there's a lot of players where they're like, a young gun, and they're in the top 30, but they're not playing NRL, but they're on like 400K because they were just timing right and they had a lot
It'd
of
be
hype.
hard for younger players specifically.
I just
if
don't
they're
know
on a
whether it would be
shitload.
good for
I
the...
think there would be more negative probably than positive. I think it would be used as a tool of like, well, he's not performing and
Yeah.
he's getting paid this, more than the flip side being like, well, this guy's underpaid. Like,
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably fair.
I sort of like the guessing
Speculation.
game and the
guessing game
speculation as
adds
well.
to it all.
You know, adds to it.
I just think
I never really thought about it. I don't care if they leave it the way it is.
because like some people think, yeah, you make it public so that way it's much harder for clubs to cheat the salary cap as well.
Is it though? Because the auditors know what the fucking price is. Just because the general public knows, that shouldn't change an auditor's ability to do his job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, I guess,
know what I mean?
the more light you shine on it, like as in the more public you are with, this is his contract, this is his third party deals, the less room for, do you know what I mean, for wiggle room. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I just
You can still
it should still be like
Easy to
slip
behind the
50 grand
fucking
into
veil.
a
It should
car.
still be there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't think it would change a whole lot.
Yeah, it's an interesting. The main reason for me is just the privacy of it all. I just the amount
Which
of
is reasonable.
and also
Yeah,
like a lot of
I'm
people
fine with
don't
that.
understand like, oh, 300k or 400k, that's a lot of money. You should be happy, but it's like, bro, it's relatively speaking. Like it's like when people are like, oh, that's too much money. Imagine if you were in the top 100 people in the entire country in your profession, and that profession generated, I don't know, let's say $2 billion. You would be paid probably more. Like if you're a top 100 doctor in the country, you're probably on 700, a
Or wet
million a
nurse.
year. Or a wet nurse.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but it's actually even worse than that because a doctor can do it his whole life, or most of it's like a footy player. It's a very, very short career. So the idea that like, oh, 300k is a lot of money, he's actually being underpaid in the long term of things because A, he can't do it forever, but B, he's in the top 200 of people in his profession that generates billions. The top 200 doctors honestly would be on like $1 million a year each for the next 70 years.
Yeah.
So I think, but a lot of people don't understand that. So if they saw their public, they would just be perceptions.
Yeah, I think it's the support cast is so large around the players that the even though the revenues are massive,
Yeah.
it's spread out.
Cost
so
of
much.
goods is so high.
Well, just like from trainers
Yeah.
to fucking staff to like CEOs to
Oh, yeah, for
administrators,
sure.
so like it's
No,
spread out a bit. You know,
If anything, I actually think that the mid to lower should be getting more money. The high top earners, I think they should.
well, there's
be,
a big diff. Yeah, the big guys are on shitloads,
Yeah.
but most of them would be on. What would the average be like? 200 grand.
200-300 grand.
Yeah.
And if you took out the top, let's say you took that out of the average, it'd be like fucking even lower.
And the minimum's what?
Like
Is
the
it-
median.
Yeah.
What's the median?
Is
Yeah.
the minimum
Yeah, like-
110?
No, the minimum is like 125 now. When I
Yeah.
was coming through, the minimum was like fucking 45. It's fucked.
That's wild, dude.
You'd be in there just like slaving away, some kind on $1 million, and you'd be doing fucking more training, which is fair enough. It's part of the world, part of the cycle.
it's the
cycle.
world we live
It is the world we live in.
world, Tom.
Now,
Glad we cleared that up.
Did you see the nostalgic photo of Joey, Gidley, Buderus, and Hughes at Knights, Mason the Bulldogs, Thurston the Cowboys, Benji back at the Tigers? What do you think this is a evidence of a broader trend of like, you know what? There's science, there's all the mumbo jumbo, but sometimes you just need old boys back amongst it.
Look, I mean, it was great to see Joey back, and I think the other clubs went, fuck, we need a bit of bloody...
Joey Magic,
That Joey Gidley Buderus photo is so sick.
Yeah.
sick.
That's
It
like when
is
you see
so
like
sick.
the cast of an old show like come back together after years to like do one more episode, and you're like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, they're all so old. How nice is it to see them back
But
together.
it's funny.
Friends reunion.
It's funny, right? Like in those like reunions and stuff, I'm like, you look old now, and it's not the same. Whereas I looked at that photo and I'm like,
I saw him as looking old. You know what else
but
reminds me
I
of?
They
still-
look fit
still
and healthy to
looked
me.
hot. They still looked hot.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
there was a
still
lot,
hot.
a lot of hotness there.
It reminded me also
You
of
know?
like Armageddon. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's a
have.
fucking phenomenal
It's
movie.
a great movie.
But basically, Bruce Willis getting the whole crew back together to go save the world.
Yeah.
That sort of a thing.
That's what's
It's like
happening
They're a
right
bit
now.
older. They're a bit more gruff. You know, they've seen some shit.
Sense of shit.
They're all different personalities, and they're all like, one's riding the motorbike back in, one's fucking, you know, at the casino, and they're all just coming back together to save the day.
And Joe's like, I'm going on a bender, and they're like, ha ha, good old times.
That's what you do. Fucking yeah. We got to save the world though. Now it's getting serious. They go, all
Little
right,
rascal.
time to knuckle down.
But I just think that they represent this kind of like moment in rugby league that stands out more than a lot of other moments. You know what I mean? Like the Newcastle vibe. I'm not even
it's
from Newey.
iconic.
It's just his vibe. When you talk about vibe, king of vibe, that is vibe. Benji back at the Tiger, really interesting because of the way it broke up.
Yep.
Benji loves a club.
He loves the club. Seems that Tim Sheens would have had a lot to do with that because Timmy and Benji
yeah.
Two
Can
peas in a pod, mate.
Could I chop some people down?
You can chop a few blokes.
Can I
down.
chop a few blokes
I mean, that's
down?
what you do.
Who are you going to chop?
Well,
Surely you're going to chop Joe.
I'm not chopping blokes,
If you-
but I am chopping clubs. Now, if I'm just running my eye over what I see here in terms of the clubs that are bringing back old players and
Right.
where those clubs sit,
Are you sort of like desperate times call for desperate measures?
this is last chance saloon shit. Let's bring back the goats and see how we go.
So you've taken a beautiful moment and turned it into a shit one.
Yep.
That's what you're doing right
Yeah,
now. Okay.
He is making a point.
It's a salient point.
thank you.
Is the Storm on that list?
No, they're not.
Is Man on that list?
No.
Are the Roosters on that list?
No, they're not. A South?
A South on that
all
list?
of Manly ex-players hate the club. That's probably why.
Easy, Tiger.
We want to get into that.
That's
little-
That's actually the
so-
Broncos. All the
Yeah.
Broncos.
No, we're all
Last
back.
time I checked,
No,
the fucking
Kevin brought
Prince
all
of
the back.
Brookvale is still running an eye over the stock.
Fucking helping Tommy at the back.
Look,
A lot of
there
dramas
might
at
be
that
a couple
club.
of players
They
that have-
called it a split down the middle. That's what they called it.
No.
A crater.
That was Trent Barrett's fault. We got rid of him, and we're
Don't
back.
blame the hot guy. It's always easy to blame the hot guy.
Just saying. You don't see
It was
any
long
good
before
clubs.
Trent got there. That's for
You
sure.
don't see
Long
any
before
good
Trent got
clubs
there.
bringing back fucking legends. You don't.
So, you've done what you do best. You've managed to take a beautiful moment and shit on it.
Very
no,
Tom.
it was
Very
a
Tom.
beautiful moment.
That's
great
great.
point though.
I mean,
You can't say it's not.
now, Australia, they win the 220. The Ashes start in 3 weeks from today. First test, December 8th in Brisbane. Ashes squad was announced this morning. Tim Payne, captain. Pat Cummins, vice captain. Cameron Green, Josh Hazelwood, Marcus Harris, Travis Head, Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labajang,
You did pretty well there
Labajang.
considering you can't read.
Nathan Lyon, Michael Nessa, Jai Richardson, Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, Mitchell Swepson, David Warner, and then they've got the A players. But
I will say this, just having a look at the squad, which is largely fucking as it should be. Pat Cummins, the sole vice captain, is an indicator potentially of where they think when Tim Payne finally is taken to the glue factory. Because it was like Cummins, Smith, what do we do? They had Travis Head was a
I
vice captain
don't
for a
think
minute.
that Smith hasn't been VC. Hasn't Cummins been stand-up VC?
Yes, absolutely. But he was, it was him and it was Travis Head, and then Travis got dropped, and then Pat was there. I don't know, it just was a bit more like, it just caught my eye. I could be looking into it. Pat Cummins could have been the vice captain fucking by himself for yonks, and I've just missed it completely.
Yeah, possibly. The problem is, Denon, is that Tim Payne will be taken to the glue factory, and then we need a captain. Steve Smith, who would be the obvious choice, is, in my opinion, now ineligible, given the fuck up over in South Africa. I just don't think you can look past that.
I'll just throw in that Travis Head was formerly the co-vice captain from January 2019 to November 2020.
Yeah, right.
So not last...
last, yeah, so just
up
before
until
last summer.
yeah. But the question mark is, can you have a bowler as a captain? We haven't had a bowler as a captain since like the 50s or the 60s, something like that, a while ago.
Or have we ever? Was that?
No,
Again, I
no,
don't
Richie
fucking-
Benno was fucking captain,
yeah, okay.
for example.
Forgive me.
No, because the stats guy called up and ran it through us. You must have forgotten.
Stats man, I have forgotten.
yeah.
So that's the query. Can Cummins be a bowler and a skipper?
Now, excuse my stupid question, but Nathan Lyon, wasn't there a period there where he was fucking the guy?
He still is.
Is he still the guy?
He's still the guy. He's still the guy.
He's
our
bowling
greatest,
Gary guy.
he's our greatest ever off spinner.
He's
Really?
and
He's
on
the
three-
bowling Gary guy, isn't he?
Yeah, nice.
Bowling
guy.
Gary.
Nice guy, yeah.
He's also on 399
So
test
he's still the
wickets.
guy.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's
I
still-
felt like there was a period though that he was the fucking.
Well, he was the guy. That period was when I think he became like cult hero status. When it was like every fucking spin bowler after Shane Warne was like, fuck off, dude. But he was the one where it was like, all right, we found our spinner.
Okay.
Then there was the nice Gary, which became the fucking sort of the joke or the meme. And then it was Gary the GOAT, all that shit. And now he's just like fucking really good.
And what about, I know Marnus had a bit of a moment. The other boys were doing goosies, I think, a few Ash tests.
Yeah, well, Marnus
Did a
is
goosey.
Marnus is the new hot throbber on the scene.
Yeah.
So he's like our next 10 years, hopefully.
Okay. But they actually, I think it was 2 years ago in Ashes, they did a little goosey.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It was awesome.
Love
Beautiful.
that.
Beautiful.
That would've got you hard.
That did. It really did. Okay, look, if you're going to predict the first Ashes, how do we go and how do we get the job done or not get the job done?
Well, we win 5-0 in the Ashes.
We win
so
5-0.
We don't lose a
Okay.
test.
We went 5-0. Tom and I were talking about this before. We think that it'll line up like this. It'll be Warner, Marcus Harris.
Little Marcus Harris.
Little Marcus Harris that could. Marnus at 3. Smith at 4. Now, 5's either going to be Travis Head or you could maybe go
Usman.
Kawaja.
Yeah.
6 will be Baggy Green, Cameron Green. 7 will be Tim Payne. and then
En route to the glue factory.
of this is your final series fame. Mm-hmm. And then I think after that,
It's glue for you.
salute,
Put your
then
name
glue.
glue stick.
Salute, then glue.
Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
we'll
cricket.
parade him around and then he'll be taken out the back.
Yep.
And then I think they'll go Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, Lyons.
Same as.
Okay. All right. Well, that is another episode done and dusted. Make sure to subscribe to the Hello Sport podcast. Follow them on Instagram at Hello Sport. Also, About Even, the greatest punting show there is on earth, really.
Yeah, on Earth.
Correct.
Maybe in the universe even.
Yep.
Also, Punters and Dribblers on Facebook. Grab a case of Bloke in a Bar, the beer of sport. It was born, brewed, just created in the depths of sport. Grab a case and I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.